Checking the mics. Do the mics check? Are they working? Is everything going nicely? Folks, tell me if the mic is working. And I may move forward with the stream. Good. Glorious. Glorious. Coming in loud and clear, it sounds, huh? Alright. Guess we can transition into our true setup. Had to be slightly dramatic there, I'm very sorry to say. Let me adjust my screen slightly here. See the bottom bar of my screen. Expand it slightly. There we go. There we go. Alright, good. Excellent. Welcome everyone. Welcome once again. To another one of these streams. How y'all doing today? Everyone doing okay? Let me minimize this music. Make it background audio for our listening pleasure as we dive into what we're going to be doing today. How's everyone doing? Everyone have a good day? See what... Oh, thank you, the British Runner, for joining as a reader. Yes, the British Runner. Thank you for streaming about that whole thing with the Tactical Templar. I'll discuss that later in a bit. The Guy 493, a member for 16 months. Remember, if you're a member of my channel, you can access our exclusive paid Discord, which has access to all different kinds of bizarre conversations. Trust me, there's some weird discussions there at like 5 a.m. in the morning. Wait, why is it saying goal reached at what's the goal? 400? That's not right. It has to be reset. Oh, let me save it real quick. There we go. That should be better. All right, next super chat, it'll reset the goals properly. My apologies there. It's still from last week. If you want to beat last week's goal total, there you go. There's a sign. Oh my goodness, it's been a minute, hasn't it? And a lot has happened in about a week. In fact, it's kind of crazy. Want to apologize right away for delaying Friday's video to this morning, but it was worth it. It's doing pretty well, and I'm glad people are enjoying it. There were just some problems with getting the edit done on time, and I wanted to make sure we delivered a completed project as opposed to a rushed one. Oh my goodness. Yep, we're gonna have some pizza. Hey, there you go. Get some pizza, have a good time, get settled in. I'm gonna start with some tea myself. Got some chai going right now. Well worth the wait, you say? Well, hopefully it is, because it was a lot of fun to make. Oh, crud. Ooh, that's hot. That is hot. That is not... Yep, you can't see us right now, but hot tea just went down on my, right on my, leg. That's great. Love that. Sign of things to come. Who knows? We'll find out. Let you be the judge of that. Ooh, that was something. That was just something just now. But we can't let third-degree burns stop us from having a good time, can we? All right, let me just wipe up some of that hot seeping tea off here. Wow, it's all over the place. That's great. That's all right. Angel Gaming, thank you for being a member for 12 months. Ow, you okay? Yes, we are very okay today. Oh, I didn't even see read the guy's super chat. The Guy 493 super chat member message. 2 days till Prime 4. I have really high hopes. So do I. I'm hoping Prime 4 is good. Quite frankly. Because I love the first 3 Prime games. I really gotta play it again, actually. It's been ages. Hoping it's good. But unfortunately, with the baby, I haven't had a lot of time to play any games aside from Final Fantasy Tactics and Potionomics. Have you ever played Potionomics? It's like a cozy potion mixing game that's also a deck builder. It's fun. It's fun times. Oh my goodness. So, I'm sure a lot of you have seen, let me get this real quick. This chart right here. This is a schedule for the rest of the week. Before we dive into business as usual, I do want to cover it real quick because I posted this just recently, and I think a lot of people are kind of wondering what's going on with this. What does the schedule mean for the channel? Well, I decided, why not make a little itinerary for the week to give a guideline of what's going to happen throughout the week. And thankfully today we have a lot going on. We have, if you haven't seen today, this afternoon I posted our Knights of Guinevere video, which has been in the works for quite some time. Now tonight we're right here, in case you couldn't tell. Tomorrow night we'll be showing up on Celtic Phoenix's podcast. He and his crew asked me if I wanted to join in discussing a video about media criticism. I kind of broke a taboo with their group and watched the video early, and I can assure you, I think it's going to be a very interesting discussion. I don't know what they're going to think of it, but I can tell you right now, the videos that they're responding to, it's quite good. So I might have to defend the video from everyone else. Who knows? Might be 4 guys against 1, but we'll see. We'll see. Friday. We have a couple non-thumbnail placeholders right there. Friday around noon Eastern Standard Time, I'm going to be dropping a new video about fan service. There'll be lots of fan service in this video, so rest assured it's going to be quite something indeed. As for Friday night, well, that's going to be fun. You see, and this is going to be, so the fan service video will discuss Go Nagai, it will talk about Misato Katsuragi, it will talk about censorship, moe, adaptation changes. It will also talk about hentai. Yes, hentai will be the point of discussion, though cleverly phrased to avoid YouTube's intense demonetization phrases. You know, it catches certain terms of tongue and demonetizes you. We're going to avoid that. But Friday night, what's going on Friday night? Because we have a Templar there. Well, it just so happens that Friday night will be a debate between myself and Tactical Templar. Yes, Tactical Templar. He happened to... Apparently, Tactical Templar saw we discussed one of his videos last week and was not too pleased about it. And basically, we got into a scuff on Twitter about it, and he agreed to debate a more formal discussion. Templar famously has not typically shown up to debate his critics, so assuming Templar does not back out, which I'm hoping, which by all accounts he hasn't yet, we will be meeting on Friday, him streaming from his channel, me streaming from mine, to debate the finer points of his structure and style. And I'm sure he's going to have some questions for me as well. So it'll be interesting. The last several debates we've had, even with channels critical of me, have turned out very good. So I'm hoping that we can get something productive out of it. I don't know if it'll be as productive as the Kinoflex or Manga Common debate, but who knows? I'm hoping so, but you never really can know. I know oddly Noah has wanted to debate Tactical Templar as well. Noah, I see you in chat. Yeah, no, we're going to discuss your videos too, Noah, today, but like, you pretty much know what I'm going to say about him already, so I'm not too worried about that. But yeah, so that's the schedule for this week, and next week, who knows what's going to come out, because I'm not sure what video's going to be finished by any time, so we'll figure it out. So, what is going on today? Well, today is a big discussion. It's going to be a long one, with a lot of parts to it. I think it's worth discussing success, as well as how our internet culture war really doesn't matter all that much outside of YouTube. It's a truth. It's a truth. The discussion war about media and all that, and this, that, and the other thing, it doesn't amount to much outside of YouTube. Because what people like is generally not always what's connected online, you know? We have what we like online, and we have... Oh, there we go. It's reset finally. Good.
At Zypher 8677 super chatted $2. Video idea. Top 10 reasons Misato is the best.
Oh, good point. I do like that concept. I do love Misato, after all. But that might have to wait, unfortunately. So, potentially. We'll find out. Yeah, honestly, I invited him twice, but he chickened out both times. That's a shame. Hopefully he doesn't chicken out on Friday, because if not, then I get an extra night with my son. Actually, hopefully he does chicken out, because I can have an extra night with his son. It all works out. So, culture war. It may get a lot of views on YouTube, but does it really amount to general trends and behavior? Well, who knows? We do know for a fact that recently Disney buckled the knee to online critics regarding the Acolyte cancellation, but beyond that...
At the guy 493 super chatted $2. We all know Ritsuka is the best.
Ritsuko is pretty great. I will say that. Ritsuko is pretty great. I do like Ritsuko. When I was younger, I couldn't stand Ritsuko, but as I've gotten older, I've really liked her character quite a lot. In case you don't know, we're talking about Ritsuko Akagi from Neon Genesis Evangelion. I like her character more as I've gotten older, because I think I get her more. When I was a kid, I didn't quite get her as well, but now as an adult, I get her much more.
At Angels Art and Gaming super chatted $5. When I saw Misato, I thought it was going to be about Evangelion as a whole.
Nope, not Evangelion as a whole. Actually, we do talk about Hideki Anno's career, as well as Gainax's trajectory, much more than Evangelion specifically. We really are just talking about Misato in context of this greater conversation, but there's a lot of shows we're going to discuss. It's not going to be a super long video, but it is going to be pretty thorough, I think, and pretty exacting in its discussion points.
At WC Wit super chatted $5. The Culture War is about grifters throwing crap at the wall, finding what sticks, then making a billion videos about what sticks.
Yeah, exactly correct. There really is nothing to it that's, like, meaningful. And as we saw with the recent controversy around Predator Badlands, that's very true. Now, you might have missed this. It's going to be a very long video, I must tell you right now. This stream will not be short because there is so much to discuss. So, while I will play a lot of these videos at 1.5 speed for the sake of time, I do recommend you watch everything we look at individually, though there's a good chance you probably have seen at least one of these on your own. There's a lot to discuss. So, let's just start with the beginning, because this discussion actually starts way earlier than just recently. In fact, it starts about 7 months ago. Let's pause the music and bring in our focus of the day, shall we? Oh, it's all muted, that's why. There we go. Now, 7 months ago, I'm going to let me make a few quick things. Subtitles on. Let's go for playback speed. Oh, they even have audio tracks. How great. Playback speed. Let's go a little faster than normal. So, we have here a video from 7 months ago. This grift started back a while, all right? This isn't a new thing. Ooh, hang on.
At Austin LaPlante 4203 super chatted $5. Personally, I am just tired of the culture war. The country has real problems and the culture war is just a distraction.
Yeah, I do agree. It is a distraction, but it's also a way to influence the people.
At the Gaming Truge super chatted $5. I would like to stick in my line talking about media, but it's insane these people try to make something out of nothing, at least to my knowledge.
Exactly. It always is nothing out of something. Not something out of nothing. Always. Every time.
At KateCast Reviews 4639 super chatted $4.99. Have you thought of doing a video on fictional grifters? Like Ryan Reynolds' character in the recent Christmas film Spirited?
Ooh, I have not seen Spirited. Was it any good? Was Spirited any good? I'm not sure. I didn't watch it, but I'm down for that. I'm down for that. Yeah, Will Jordan. Yeah, Will Jordan is interesting. Maybe I'll read one of his books and talk about it at one point, because I feel like there's a lot of points to discuss there. Was great. Okay. I'm always up for a good Christmas movie. It's funny, I showed my son for the first time this year, well, because it's his first year in life, Miracle on 34th Street, and even though he's like only a couple months old, when Santa Claus showed up, my son's eyes lit up. It was incredible. It's beautiful seeing the world through the eyes of someone who has never seen any of it before. It's all new to him. It's crazy. I love it. I saw his movie that was bad enough. Hey, that's fair. Oh, Noah, yeah, I agree with you on that one. That's fair. Okay, so let's just jump into this video from 7 months ago. I want you to keep this in mind. This video is from 7 months ago. Let's see how little his views changed when it came to watching the movie itself. This is the Critical Drinker, the most successful grifter on YouTube currently, talking about Predator Badlands' trailer 7 months ago.
One thing you can always count on with Disney, if there's an IP out there with even a hint of gas left in the tank, they will ride that thing until the wheels fall off. And probably keep going for several more miles, leaving a trail of sparks and flaming wreckage in their wake. And two of the biggest IPs to fall under their dark influence during the Fox merger were Aliens and Predator, both icons of pop culture that boast at least...
At WC Wit
pause
super
supers
chatted
after
$5. Can't wait to see what these tools make of the grifter characters in Wake Up Dead Man lol.
Oh, I need to see that. I'm so excited. I can't wait to see Wake Up Dead Man. I can't wait. Anyway, back to this. I'm pausing supers right now. If you leave them, I'll unpause them at a key moment when we watch this. But let's listen to what he says before the movie came out.
2 good movies each. And well, we've already seen how that turned out for Aliens.
Get away from her.
What was wrong with Alien Romulus? Alien Romulus was a pretty good movie, I thought. I thought it was pretty fun. I love how you're showing like this scene of the character deliberately being like this incredibly polite character saying this iconic line on his own, and not say the scene where the alien emerges from a vulva cocoon covered in slime, or the scene where Dora the Explorer bursts out this like weird engineer alien hybrid baby. Like, I find it strange how this is the scene you chose and not the genuinely gruesome nightmarish scenes. It's kind of odd how that works out, isn't it? A lot of Alien fans, the biggest issue with Romulus was it didn't break enough new ground. But you can't say it was boring, but they can try to. But again, I digress.
You bitch.
Predator, though, is a...
That's odd that you chose that one and not, say, the scene where the facehuggers all attack en masse, or the gruesome chest-bursting sequence. None of that? That's odd. I don't know why I chose that. Strange. Strange you selected that deliberate comedy scene and not the rest of the film, but hey, what are you going to do? Anyway, back to Predator.
A bit more complicated. The surprise success of Prey on Disney Plus, and damn man, they must have regretted not giving that one a theatrical release, seems...
It's funny that you say that, Drinker, because you hated this movie when it first saw the trailer. The thing with Drinker is, with all these Predator films, he tries to set them up from the trailers, though it's ruining the legacy of the original. But really, what legacy did the original have? Predator is a beloved action film from the 80s, yes, but when it first came out, it was not so fondly remembered. In fact, it was widely criticized upon its release. That's why the Rotten Tomatoes score for Predator is so low, because critics at the time didn't like it. It was reevaluated later on to become a success. Ironically, what guys like the Critical Drinker don't realize is often the initial impressions of a film are not what are relevant later on. Sometimes your opinion changes, it grows, develops. A film can ferment like a good wine over time. But again, I digress. Though that being said, though, Predator is not a glass of wine film. It's a solid shot of whiskey. It's a good old fashioned, one might say. You know, sweet. It goes down sweet, but it's strong and has a kick. But I digress. Point is, Prey was the best Predator film since the original. Predator is not a franchise known for quality. Unlike Alien and Aliens, which are two superb films, Predator has Predator 2, which is okay. I like Predator 2 quite a bit, but it's not great. Predators, which I like a bit more than most, but it's still not a great film. The Predator, which is garbage, and the AVP films. And I've defended AVP 1 quite a bit. AVP Requiem, absolute trash. So Predator has really just the one great film and sequels of varying quality. And Predator 2 isn't bad. I like Predator 2, but it's not great. You know, Predator 1 is great. Predator 2 is good. The difference there is I can still put on Predator 2 right now and have a good time with it, but it doesn't have the same sauce the original one does. Prey has the sauce. Prey figured it out. Prey got it done right.
Seems to have convinced them that there's plenty more mileage to be gotten out of the Predator franchise. And so, the floodgates have opened and the sludge is in full flow. Case in point, Predator Badlands, an upcoming standalone movie from Dan Trachtenberg, the same guy who directed Prey. The first teaser dropped a few days ago and everyone was abuzz about one thing. Okay, look.
Again, from the beginning, the big grift has been trying to point to Dex, how you say his name, to make him look ridiculous, when in actuality, Dex looks this way because he's the run to the litter. He's supposed to look unimpressive by Predator standards, by Yacha standards. So I find it very funny that they all pointed to this as a big point of criticism when the movie itself makes this a point of criticism against Dex. I find it very funny. It's like it's almost like Drinker is playing the same role as Dex's father in the movie.
I know that appearances can be deceptive, and sometimes the VFX are a bit unfinished in shots like this, and blah blah blah. But holy shit, was this a mistake? How is it that a high-profile movie made in 2025 somehow looks less convincing than a mid-budget sci-fi action flick from the 1980s? I mean, just take a moment to look at the original Predator from 1987. Look how much detail there is here. Look at the droplets of water on its skin, the complex markings and patterns across its face, the deep-set eyes that are barely visible,
And they barely got it to work. If you ever look into how the Predator was made, they barely got this effect working. They barely got the makeup on correctly. And as a reason, it's only there for about 5 minutes of the movie, because they could only get it to work for that much of filming. Much like the shark in Jaws, these effects didn't all work all that well. Dex, however, is a purely CG character who appears throughout the film in that manner. So yeah, you're going to get something a little different. The specks of water are just water. Like, they're just moisture. It's not an effect, it's just actual moisture. And the film itself does have a mix of practical and computer-generated effects. That's just how it is.
jaw mandibles moving and twitching, the long tentacles hanging down around its heads. It's an incredible piece of creature design and complex animatronics that's just as iconic and alien and terrifying as the xenomorphs were. Then look at old Lumpy here from Badlands. It looks like something that just wandered in from the set of Star Trek Deep Space Nine. The skin's all rubbery and out of focus, there's no surface detail or droplets of water or smears of dirt or anything.
Yeah, there's no water in the scene where he's not wet. Good observation there, Will. Great job. What a shock. The alien that's not wet isn't wet. I mean, I get what he's saying, though. There is a lack of detail to an extent, but only to some extent. Look at this right here. You do got the different patterns. You do got the little ridges on the face. The tentacles do look organically woven into the head. However, the thing is, the jungle predator is a different type of predator than those who live in the desert. They evolve differently. And Dex is the runt of the litter. If you look at one of the best Predator films of all time and compare it to a new Predator, you're always going to notice differences. That's not to say that anything is bad, it's just different. And you're showing a scene where the Predator emerges from a gritty, grimy surface, and now he's coming into a dry surface. They're going to look different. And frankly, not all predators are going to have that jungle-esque camouflage pattern the original one has. Just simply that.
At all to indicate that this thing is actually physically present. Also, why in the name of holy fuck does it have a side shave? I mean, you understand that those things growing out of the side of the predator's head aren't actually hair that can be cut and styled like human hair, right?
The problem is every single predator has had different patterns of growth with the tentacles. And also, again, based on predator lore, the jungle predator came from the jungle on the Yacha Prime planet, whereas Dex comes from the desert part of the planet. This is just basic predator lore you would know if you follow Predator. The predators who come from different areas look different. I know, it's shocking. Oh, Dex, I'm sorry, Dex.
Showing it in broad daylight was also the worst possible decision because every visual flaw and shortcoming is exposed for the whole world to see. Look, I'm under no illusions about the original prosthetic either, right? There's a very obvious reason why movie monsters like this and the xenomorphs are usually shown in darkness. All those shadows and pale moonlight help to hide the moving parts, disguise the fact that it's basically just a stuntman in a rubber suit, and make the whole thing look a whole lot more intimidating than it probably was.
Is that why you showed the Predator in broad daylight in the shots you were just showing him in? Because the shot you just showed him in is in broad daylight. It's still in light. There's a little canopy over it, but that's about it.
It's fine, it's part of the magic of filmmaking, and it worked. Filmmakers back then understood the visual limitations of the tools they were working with, and found ways to enhance them instead of undermining them. Anyway, I digress, let's talk about the trailer itself. The plot, as far as I understand it, is that a young predator has been banished from his homeworld for being retarded or something, and ends up on some remote planet where he teams up with a Weyland-Yutani android to take down the biggest, baddest monster in the area to prove himself worthy of a place amongst his own people again. In a nutshell, the Predator is now the protagonist of the movie this time around.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for them.
I mean, I'll at least give them credit for doing something a bit different with this one. There's only so many times you can pit a group of guys with guns against a lone predator that kills them off one by one while they slowly come to grips with the enemy that they're facing, and conceptually it's a neat idea to mix things up a little and flip the dynamic here. I'm just not entirely convinced that an 8-foot tall monster whose entire vocabulary consists of and shit happens is the kind of protagonist that audiences are likely to get behind.
Well, that's the problem for you because you didn't actually read any of the books, which I mean makes sense. You don't. I mean, what are you, a writer or something? The Predator lore has had multiple different works centered around predators as a main character. They are intelligent. They have advanced technology. They just don't speak English. It's that simple. Hell, even Alien vs. Predator has a predator as a protagonist. For all its faults, and it has many faults, The Predator also illustrates that a predator as a main character, as a central character, can function nicely. But that's all well and good. You know, ultimately, who really cares, right? Because if it's not in the films, Drinker hasn't seen it. That's fine. You know, that's all right. Games too. I guess he didn't play the games either. That's fine. Getting a lot of super chats in here. Let's let some of them play out real quick. Let me play some of them.
At Scorpion104 super chatted $5. I'd argue the culture war, and by extension Gamergate, is also at its core, personal trauma by multiple individuals.
Okay, I guess I can see that. I'm not sure I agree, but I can see that.
At Angels Art and Gaming super chatted $2. I hate the Alan vulva. EEUIGHHHH.
Yeah,
Nightmares.
I love that. That's some good stuff in the movie. That was a good one of the better parts of Alien Romulus was that gross.
At user
opening.
_225_CCC super chatted $1.99. Have y'all seen Zootopia 2?
No,
It was so
I've
good,
not.
loudly crying.
I have not yet actually seen that, but I'm curious about it.
At the Man with Applin 7678 super chatted $5. Oh yeah, since I'm mostly up to date on Predator, I can say my ranking: Prey greater than Coke greater than 2 greater than 1 greater than AVP greater than 3 greater than the Requiem.
Yeah, I can see that. I respect that. As long as Requiem or the Predator.
At Otterly Noah super chatted $20.
Hey, thank you so much.
Dead Man does take down anti-woke culture and organized religion. It has a nuanced look at religion, like Disney's Hunchback, shows the evil of controlled religion, but also how it can be freeing for people like Esmeralda.
I gotta watch it. I'm so excited. That sounds exciting because all those movies have been fantastic.
At WC Wit super chatted $5. McTiernan made 2 of the best actioners ever within a year of each other with Predator in _87, then Die Hard in '88.
Hot take.
Imagine having that much sauce.
Right? Hot take, Die Hard's the better movie. Sorry, not sorry.
At user _225_CCC super chatted $1.99. Drinker should be banished from UK4 bine regarded.
Fair enough.
At Wyatt Amedon 5747 super chatted $5. Never got why Romulus got so much shit for the callbacks.
Yeah, same.
Except some moments that were eye-rolling. It had good characters and original creepy scenes.
Agreed. I think the only thing was some of the technology used to bring Ian home back.
At Stingertopia 3169 super chatted $5. Similar question as the other person. Did you watch Black Phone 2?
Yes.
And if so, how did you feel about it? For everyone and anyone.
Yeah. No, I have seen Black Phone 2. I like Black Phone 2. Not as good as the first, but I do like how it's the closest we've come to a Nightmare on Elm Street film since the passing of Wes Craven. I didn't love it, but I also didn't love the original Black Phone either. I liked both. So it was pretty good. I liked it. All right, back to the video. Let me put those supers on pause once again. But yeah, no. Hot take: Predator. Die Hard is a better film than The Predator. I'll say that. Right? I think I'm pretty confident in saying that one. Better action in Die Hard. I'll say that.
Also, and this could be just a personal thing, but I'm not sure I want to know more about the predators as a species. I don't really want to know what their society or their homeworld looks like, or how they interact with each other, or what they get up to in their spare time. Much like the xenomorphs, their fascination always lay in their mystique. Yeah, the movies would drop little hints about larger events and a more complex social structure, but we were still mostly kept in the dark about them, and that was unquestionably a good thing.
I don't know if I agree with that one. Xenomorphs, yes. Xenomorphs should be enigmatic, should be bizarre, but the Predator was pretty logical. They're hunters who hunt. There's nothing. The appeal of the Predator was never in its mystique, and that's why they're so easy to make central figures, as in AVP, as in the Alien vs Predator Prey. Was it Prey? Prey novel. I read that years ago. As many of the video games. Predators are not enigmatic. They are hunters. They are conquerors. They are people who fight. They're not really as appealing for their enigma. They're not really body horror figures. They're not even scary necessarily. That's the thing with Predator. The Predator characters are not horror villains. The aliens, the xenomorphs, are horror villains. Therefore, the enigma works better for them. They're more Lovecraftian that way, more cosmic horror. The Predator are more just badasses who hunt people. It's a different kind of appeal. And I think that dichotomy between the fighter, the hunter, and the monster is what made the AVP stuff so interesting to begin with. So I don't know if I agree with Drinker at all. In fact, I know for a fact I don't, because I've sought out the comics, I've read the books, they're cool stuff. So, yeah. And besides, it doesn't matter if the mystique is what you like about them. The Predator has not been enigmatic for years. Really, since the first stuff came out, there have been stories about the Predator from their perspective. We have humanized Predators. We've seen their culture much more. We've seen this, what they prioritize, what they honor. You know, we've had movies where Predators and humans work together, like in AVP. You know, it's not a secret anymore. The xenomorphs are enigmatic, but they're more like insects. They're more like a hive. The Predator has a goal: find strong prey. I would never count any of the Predator films as horror films. There's some gore, but they were always action films first and foremost. Action sci-fi. Not so much with xenomorphs and aliens. Even Aliens, which is much more of an action film, still has a lot of horror throughout it. So I never really got this whole thing. But again, we see a few things form right here. Disney's the problem, according to Drinker 7 months ago. The Predator should be enigmatic and less understood. And that Deck looks stupid and small and runty, which apparently is not intentional on the filmmaker's part and totally just a consequence of their own filmmaking limitations. So we got those three things established right here. Let's see if Drinker just happens to think that the film, when it comes out, is a byproduct of Disney ruining the Predators by making them too well known. Does make Deck look ridiculous. And what was the other thing I said? Yeah, Disney milking the franchise, basically.
I've said many times before, questions like this are usually way more interesting and compelling than any answers a filmmaker could give. Just ask Ridley Scott's. The attempt to merge this movie with the Alien franchise is another red flag for me, because every time these two IPs have tried to crossbreed, the results have ranged from mediocre slop to painfully bad.
I'm sorry, hang on, what?
Franchise is another red flag for me, because every time these two IPs have tried to crossbreed, the results have ranged from mediocre slop.
The game? The game was pretty good, actually. Was this the 2010 game or the early 2000s one? Because they were both pretty solid, I thought. The AVP games are fantastic. That's interesting. That's not the film. That's not the film Alien vs. Predator. That's the video game. And the games are pretty sick. So, are you saying that you hate the games as well? You calling them slop games? Huh. That's a choice. That's a very big choice. These were major. The early games were major in the FPS genre back in the early days, and the 2010 game was pretty solid too. That's interesting. Yeah, no, I don't. Yeah, no. And the books also were pretty solid. The comics were pretty solid. There's a lot of AVP stuff that's really good. I just think I think you're out of your element in this one, Drinker. Unless you can say for a fact and explain why you don't like the games. This comment right here is a bit of a red flag to me, that you don't really know what you're talking about.
Up to painfully bad to downright baffling.
The Predator does not actually cross over the Alien and Predator franchises. It did, almost, but it didn't succeed at it. For those who don't know, there was an ending for The Predator that would have pitted The Predator. They would have brought in Ellen Ripley or Newt from Aliens into the Predator movies, but they scrapped it. It's not in the film. So I'm not sure what he's talking about here. I'm not sure why The Predator, in its released form, has any ties with xenomorphs.
The connection here is Thea, a Weyland-Yutani android from an unknown time period in the Alien franchise, who seems to have ended up on the same planet as the big lads.
Right.
It's too early to tell what her function in the story is or why she's actually here, but I can't shake the horrifying feeling that her presence is laying the groundwork for another Alien vs Predator movie, or God help us, an entire cinematic universe of this crap.
Oh man. Oh God. Oh man.
The one point of light at the end of the tunnel here is Dan Trachtenberg, who's pulling writing and directing duties this time around after his work on Prey. That movie might not have been perfect, but it was a decent stab at doing something slightly different with the Predator franchise, and although I think people cut it way more slack than it probably deserved, it was still miles better than the loose collection of lazy callbacks and cheap nostalgia bait that we got in Alien Romulus. The reason I bring all this up is that Prey also suffered from a pretty underwhelming trailer that people were quick to dismiss as a typical...
No, Drinker, you were quick to dismiss it. No one else was. You were the only one. This is what I mean when I say these guys get lost in their own sauce. The average response to Prey's trailer was enthusiasm. The Drinker wasn't enthusiastic because he made a lot of ill-conceived assumptions about where the film was going to go, including some comments about Native Americans and dogs that were a choice to make, I'll say that. But the problem is these guys get lost in their own sauce. They think that because their circle said it, that must mean that everyone says it. But that's not the case. The average person saw the trailer for Prey and thought, wow, that looks pretty cool. And then they watched the movie, and it turned out they all liked it. See, the thing is, they wouldn't have watched the movie and the movie, if it didn't look good. It's that simple.
Typical Disney girl boss sludge fest, only for the movie itself to turn out way better than expected, so I don't want to write Badlands off completely here. It could still turn out to be a decent addition to the franchise, but man, I think it's about time we accepted that we're never going to recapture the magic of the 1987 original, and anything we get now is just a pale imitation of stuff that's already been done far better. But
so he's like, I want to be optimistic, but I think it's going to be a pale imitation of the old film. That's the problem with The Drinker. I want to keep this in mind because everything he's saying right now will end up being echoed in his final review. With a lot of these guys, you find that unless they can't avoid changing their story, they will just echo what they said in their trailer preview almost verbatim. Drinker did it with The Acolyte. Drinker did it with all these different Marvel films. He always says the same thing about the film they said in the trailer every time, all the time. It's like he predicts it because he makes it so. He tells himself what to say, gauges the response based on the trailer, and curates his response of his review when the film comes out based on audience responses to see what people would like the most. At least what his audience would like the most. That's how I perceive it. Can I say he did it for sure? I don't know. But it does seem odd how so often you usually, with his reviews, have a slightly curated version of what he says in his trailer reactions months before the film comes out.
trust me, as long as there's anything remotely left to be milked out of this franchise, Disney will find a way to make it happen. Oh yeah, and just a heads up that we're down to the last few days on our Kickstarter campaign for Trial by Fire.
Of course.
The response has been absolutely amazing, and we've raised over £250,000 already, and now that we're on the and I'll leave the rest up to you. Anyway, that's all I've got for today. Go away now.
Okay, so that's his opinion right there. Now, moving on to his review, we're going to find, strangely...
Life really is a matter of perspective. For example...
Oh, there you go. There's my self-portrait right there. Anyway, let's let Super Chats play it for a bit. Oh, where are you? There we go. There we go. Let's let Super Chats play real fast.
At Olivia_Williams_purple_fairy super chatted $1.43. Seems Drinker is deeply incurious.
Yeah, deeply curious. Yeah, exactly.
At Otto Johnny super chatted $5. Critical Drinker and these other grifters are so narrow-minded.
Mm-hmm. Very, very narrow-minded.
At Angels Art and Gaming super chatted $5. Xenomorphs are alien wasps,
Yes.
while predators are in actual
I
society.
can agree, and it's explored in the books and comics and games so often, yeah. And the films, too.
At Olivia_Williams_purple_fairy super chatted $3.58. Yeah, xenomorph, particularly in the original, were pretty much eldritch horrors. By the way, the real name of the species is XX121.
That's interesting. I wonder why that's the case. Probably some reference to something I'm not
At
familiar with.
NatHiThePanda4692 super chatted 94 cents. That is such a weird argument.
Yeah.
I'm watching Freddie Mercury's biography, but I don't want to know about Freddie. I just want to hear the songs.
Well, for horror, the mystique is meaningful. With action films, not so much. Not always, anyway.
At Olivia_Williams_purple_fairy super chatted $1.43. Monolith AVP2 was awesome.
That was a great game. I love Monolith's AVP game.
At the guy 493 super chatted $2. AVP Arcade had Lin Kurosawa.
Oh, yeah, the beat 'em up.
His argument is void.
I do love that beat 'em up. It's so much fun. I love it. I maybe play it on stream one night.
At the man with Applin 7678 super chatted $5. You know he's too lazy to tell the difference between game AVP and film AVP.
Even though
lol.
the name is different. Alien vs. Predator versus Aliens vs. Predator. Logo's different. I guess this makes sense.
At Kowarizarich super chatted $5. The 2000s AVP game was amazing. Playing as a marine or an alien or a predator was so much fun.
And the gameplay was totally different. I do think Predator was a little broken in the old games, though. I think the Alien was more fun, so it was harder.
At Cassie Hosh 1677 super chatted 38 cents. Every time they crossbred. Now put it like that wilted flower.
Sorry. I don't know if I did that, though.
At Otto Johnny super chatted $5. Try to crossbred, interesting word of choice face with raised eyebrow.
Yeah, well, I have elaborate ways of phrasing things, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to pause supers real quick. But yeah, no, the point is, these are fun games. And quite frankly, I feel like all these grifters would be better off playing those games, because then you'd have a reason to get mad at the AVP films. Because then you're like, oh, we could have had this, and we didn't. That's the real tragedy of AVP. The book, Alien vs. Predator Prey, is a great guideline as to what to do with the film. And in fact, what's funny is the early scripts for the AVP film were basically just the novel AVP Prey adapted. It was fantastic, a sci-fi adventure in the future, and it would have been really, really cool. It would have been fun. And it would have had characters much like Deck, ironically, in that book, because AVP Prey is about a bunch of fledgling new hunters, not blooded yet, going on a trip to be blooded, to hunt some aliens, some xenomorphs, and in the end, things go out of control, essentially. But yeah, no, good game, good books. Back to this.
Life really is a matter of perspective.
Is
For
it?
example, your boyfriend isn't really a useless, effeminate pussy who makes your skin crawl. He's actually just redefining masculinity. And I'm not actually drunk right now, I'm just redefining sobriety. Or in
go.
this case, Predator Badlands isn't actually a goofy buddy comedy complete with cute animal sidekicks, an insecure protagonist with daddy issues who has to learn to connect with his emotions, weightless CGI combat scenes and wacky banter from a quirky android co-star that feels more like an aborted Mandalorian script than anything to do with the Predator universe. No, it's actually redefining what a Predator movie should be. Now, I can't say I was
Here's the thing, I don't really buy this argument. No one's talking about redefining anything. It's just a different movie with the same types of characters in it. It's that simple. Redefining is a whole very specific concept. Is anyone really saying it's redefining? I'm sure someone is. I can't say no one is. But I think it's interesting that he goes right to, oh no, it's you saying it's different. That's cope. That's not an actual statement of defending your film. A lot of words are saying nothing at all. What I call is a buddy comedy, not really. What I call it having cute animal sidekicks, not really. Has a baby character, has the idea of a found family, but that's not the same thing as saying it's a buddy cop. Because after all, this whole movie is about a reject predator, a reject synth, and a runt, a baby left to survive on his own, coming together to form a pack. A new pack of wolves that rely on each other rather than just relying on yourself. A very simple message, a very simple theme. Not complicated, not really difficult to understand. I also would never call Deck insecure. He is the runt of the litter, and his father looks down on him. But the guy he always has a chip on his shoulder. He's always trying to prove something to someone else. That's not insecurity. That's just, being an action star. Being being an protagonist, somewhere to grow. He's the runt, which puts him at a disadvantage. But he's got something to prove. See, when you hear that introduction, you get a very different vision of what the film is than what you actually get. When this film came out, I'd say the first 15 minutes of the film was basically just a couple of predators talking in their own language, very little dialogue, allowing visuals to tell the story. And there's only jokes when Dakota Fanning's android shows up. And even then, the jokes she makes are minuscule compared to the number of jokes that said that had Dakota Fanning's entire lower half been in the movie, it would have stopped and distracted all the monsters right then and there. So right there, we've made more jokes than the film has. But again, right here is what we call poisoning the well, trying to illustrate, oh, it's ridiculous. This is exactly what's going to happen. It's going to be this, that, and the third. And what ends up happening is, for better or worse, you get a sense that he's going to tell you what the film's about, or what it's going to be like, pretty early on. Back to this.
I was exactly bursting with anticipation when I went into this one, partly because the concept of a Predator movie told from the Predator's point of view felt like a fundamental betrayal of the very thing that makes them compelling, their mystique, partly...
Buddy, no. The Predator are not mystique. They're badasses. We've explored the Predator and their society thoroughly throughout these films. So no, it's not their mystique. These are not hunters. These are hunters. These are not monsters.
Because those CGI-heavy trailers with the horrible Predator redesign didn't do much to win me over, and
Well, it's not a Predator redesign. It's just Deck. It's Deck's design. The entire species of Predator have not been redesigned. It's like when you watch Predators, that movie Predators, and the Predators look different than the Jungle Predator, and at the end of the movie you find the newer, bigger Predator fighting what's like the OG Predator. The OG Predator is not redesigned. It's just, hey, there's more Predator designs out there. There's a variety. They're different. This is something that's been established in the series for a while now, and it's partially why fans have responded so well to Predator Badlands. But I digress.
Partly because of early reviews from intellectual giants like Grace Randolph, who boldly gushed over the film's humanization of the Predator and a possible romantic relationship with a fucking androids. Stuff like...
Interesting choice there, buddy. But again, what's funny is the Grace Randolph review, as I think it's I forget if Noah or if the Birdman point this out, but Grace Randolph didn't actually say there's gonna be romance between the Predator and the synth. It's more implied that it's going to be. It's more implied that it is almost like a platonic kind of bond. There's no sense of romance. Oh yeah, I guess this is I don't know if this is an AI cover or not. I'm not sure. I'm looking at the fingers. It might be AI. Looking at this now, it might be AI. Because you have like the 3 fingers right there, and not a total of 4. Anyway.
Like this is why women's fiction should be banned. Jesus.
Oh, how dare women write fiction where they want to bang monsters instead of a sexual tyrannosaurus like the Critical Drinker over here. This stuff will make you a sexual tyrannosaurus. The Predator had some good lines. The original Predator had some good lines, I'll give him that. But again, it's romantasy. Who cares,
Jesus, the amount of glazing this film's been getting on social media would have you believe it's the best thing since the 1987 original. In fact, according to Rotten Tomatoes, it's actually better, and it's not even close.
Yeah, because when Predator came out, it got bad reviews. Did you ever read the reviews of when Predator came out? They're not that good. It's only in hindsight that Predator the original is known as a classic. When it first came out, it was dismissed. There's something a lot of people are shocked that Predator Badlands is the highest grossing Predator film. Yes, I do know it costs a lot to make. It might not make a profit, but it does show there's an interest in the franchise. I understand that. I hear you. I get it. Point of the matter is, though, that $170 million is still the highest grossing movie in the franchise. And the reason for that is that Predator has never been a box office draw. It's never been a blockbuster franchise the same way that Alien has. If you compare all the films together, Predator has always been on the lower end of things. That's the reality of it. But I digress. The reason why Rotten Tomatoes has a low score for Predator is because it wasn't well received at the time. They thought it was generic, in fact. They thought it was a generic Arnold film. They thought the alien wasn't as cool as the aliens, you know. That's just how it is. With no perspective of historical perspective, yeah. With no perspective of history with film, you will misunderstand why certain things are the way they are. Modern critics love Predator. Contemporary critics of the film did not. It's that simple. In fact, let me see if I can find... 1 second. Siskel and Ebert. Predator. Here we go. Here's another review of it.
What happened? I saw it. You saw what? I saw it.
Arnold Schwarzenegger parachutes into the jungle on a political mission, but finds himself
Jeffrey Piat, thank you for being a member for 1 month. Alien, Predator, and Rocky Horror need Disney rides. I would like a Predator and Alien ride. That'd be fun.
fighting a creature from outer space in Predator, one of the new movies we'll be reviewing this week. I'm Roger Ebert of the Chicago Sun-Times.
And I'm Gene Siskel of the Chicago Tribune. Predator stars the muscle man with a smirk, Arnold Schwarzenegger, in a story that is part Rambo and part Alien. And that's a tired mix for me. I'm personally tired of seeing a commando armed to the teeth battling a slimy, extraterrestrial creature with a horrendous overbite. Typical of the all-too-familiar action in the film is when Schwarzenegger is sent to infiltrate an enemy village and rescue some Americans. Pure Rambo. Pure boredom, if you ask me.
Yeah, see, at the time, people weren't liking these films. They were done with them. The scene, it's a good scene, but it's all focus.
Of course, that's just a Rambo-like setup for the real story, which is Arnold battling a mysterious force that hides among the trees and sees with heat-sensitive eyes and seemingly cannot be destroyed.
I know one thing, Major. I drew down the fire straight at it, capped off 200 rounds in the minigun. Full pack. Nothing. Nothing on this earth could have lived. Not at that range.
All right.
Nick.
So,
Repeats the same tired theme.
Yesterday. Go on.
I think you get the feeling you've seen this movie before, except, I must say, when the creature arrives. When the creature arrives, that's a little different in the beginning of the creature. But when you see the creature finally at the end of the picture, then you think you're seeing outtakes from the movie Aliens. As derivative as Predator is, though, it's not all bad, not by a long shot. Schwarzenegger can be funny, and the creature, as I said, is a marvelous creation in its invisibility as it moves around and blends with the foliage. But the story is old hat. No, make that recent hat. Rambo mixed with Alien.
Let me get this straight. You liked the creature as long as you couldn't see it. It was only when you could see it that you didn't like it.
It's full, yes, it is full revelation. And I don't want to give away too much of the movie.
You enjoyed the early scenes in The Invisible Man, too.
I did enjoy them. Yes, my imagination is more interesting than the reality.
This movie, I think, is better than you're giving it credit for. It is exactly what it is. It is a pure summer action picture.
Yeah.
It is 2 hours of excitement. They shot it on location in the jungle, which is a very effective place, a very effective
that's a good
environment.
Place to for a jungle movie.
No, but I mean, they could have shot it on the back lot somewhere. This looks and sounds right. It feels right. There's a lot of energy in it, and that's what it is. Of course, it's a cross between Aliens and Rambo, but so what? Well, the people who will enjoy this movie can't remember last summer's movies. They probably can't remember last week's movie.
Now, come on. Forget the people. I don't care.
So Roger Ebert's saying, the people who like Predator, they're going to fucking forget all these films. They don't give a crap about what came out last week. They're too stupid. Jesus. That is the most backhanded compliment I've ever... That might be more biting than Siskel's review, quite honestly. Hang on, let me take this extra layer off. It's getting a little hot into these lights. Yeah, that's maybe worse than the positive review. If Ebert's like, yeah, you know, if you like this film, you're too dumb to remember what came out last week. So, Jesus Christ, that's man, that's more biting than I thought I'd be. So yeah, this film was seen as derivative. It was seen as a duplicate of better films that came before. This was not a modern classic that everyone loved at the time of its release. It was seen as disposable entertainment. In fact, it was treated like trash. So when you hear Drinker wax poetically, like, why did it have such a low Rotten Tomato score? That's why. It's because they were bored of action films. They saw them as what we see as classics of the 80s. They saw as it's all
bullshit. All of it.
Yeah.
Fuck off, Rotten Tomatoes. This is...
Yeah, they were sick of it because it was oversaturated. The same way that critics like Drinker complain about the Marvel films being all over the place. You know, the Marvel formula. Siskel and Ebert were complaining about the action film formula because it was overplayed, oversaturated everywhere. We remember the best of those films, but you forget all the garbage that came out because it wasn't memorable, you know? They were a ton of slashers. They were a ton of action films. And while today we see them as classics, that's only because the cream rose to the top. The shit sank. No one talks about, when it comes to like slasher films, no one talks about, what was it? The one with the slasher where he has a not My Bloody Valentine, The Prowler. No one talks about The Prowler from 1981, where it's like a World War II guy who came back from the war and kills his girlfriend and comes back years later to kill more people in the 80s, like 40 years later or whatever. No one or 30 years later, I guess at that point. No one talks about Happy Birthday to Me. No one talks about April Fool's Day. Very few people talk about the original Prom Night. They're more likely to talk about Prom Night 2, which I think is a better movie than the original Prom Night. Terror Train, no one talks about. But people talk about Halloween, talk about Friday the 13th, talk about Nightmare on Elm Street, and talk about Chucky. The rest fade into obscurity unless you're a fan. And likewise, a lot of these action films were coming out week after week after week after week, and 80% of them you forget. They're garbage. No one cares. There was a monster film that came out after Predator with Rutger Hauer. It was like a Blade Runner alien crossover type movie. It was like it's a Blade Runner, but like an alien looking monster, like, you know, from Alien. I forget the name of it. Let me see a picture of it. It was Rutger Hauer. I know that one. I liked it, but it was not well received when it came out. It was called, was it Nighthawks? Was it Nighthawks? No, it wasn't Nighthawks. It was, what was it? I'm trying to blank on the name. Help me out here, chat. I'm trying to blank on it. It's in the 80s or 90s. I forget which one it was. Was it Split Second? Was that it? Yeah, it was Split Second. I think it was, right? Yeah, Split Second. Let me get a picture of this. The 92. So it was after Predator. The first one came anyway. So yeah, Split Second. There we go. Yeah, it's a pretty good movie, I thought, but it was also garbage in terms of the popular perception of it. These films were overplayed. They were old hat at this point. So yeah, Rotten Tomatoes nowadays they're classics, but they were not at the time. Time changes things. All right, let's play some super chats.
At Olivia_Williams_purple_fairy super chatted $3.58. Rich to talk about someone else's boyfriend when you will never get a girlfriend.
Yeah, right? Basically.
At Angels Art and Gaming super chatted $2. Does Drinker forget the OG had get to DA Choppa?
Yeah, get to the chopper. That's fun. Good meme.
At WC Wit super chatted $2. Drinker kink shaming SMDH.
Yeah. Oh, he loves kink shaming. He loves kink shaming. For some reason.
At Stapster 9366 super chatted $1.43. He thinks people wouldn't want Predator romance?
Yeah. A lot of people love that. Well, Predator romance might be a little different, but monster romance certainly.
At the Man with Applin 7678 super chatted $5. Predator 2 was fire NGL, fun setting and fantastic kills thanks to excellent set pieces. Plus the characters are far more endearing than the original.
I half agree with you there. I don't agree with the characters, but I agree with the set pieces. They are pretty fun. I don't know if that was... Oh, yeah. Thank you for joining as a member. Who was it? Sorry.
At Cassie Hosh 1677 super chatted 94 cents. God forbid different species of predators exist, and a different specimen in a species were used to has a unique design. BCYK, he's the main character.
Yeah, and it's common throughout the Predator franchise, quite frankly. Done all the time.
At Angels Art and Gaming super chatted $5. Also you can thank Predator, along with Terminator, for the stereotypical Arnold voice in parodies. Like Jorgen von Strangle from Fairly Odd Parents.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of those. And McBain, is that it from
At the
Simpsons?
Misnick fan super chatted $5. Was the market oversaturated with action films when Predator came out?
Oh, hell yeah. Very much so.
At WC Wit super chatted $10. Something being seen as part of a trend at the time of release frequently makes contemporary critics overlook the actual quality in favor of criticizing the trend.
Exactly. It happens all the time. We discover how good they are.
At Zypher 8677 super chatted $5. Siskel and Ebert were trendsetters. Even if you disagreed with them, they were always honest about how their feelings towards the films.
Yes, and I disagree with them a lot. I don't agree with Siskel and Ebert a lot, but I respect their opinions quite a bit.
At Dylan 1001 super chatted $6.58. Was Aliens out near same time?
Aliens would have been a couple of years or a year before Predator, I think. Yeah.
At user _225 _CCC super chatted $4.99. Hot take. People who say Zootopia Nick and Judy shouldn't be shipped. BC a boy and girl can just be friends are cowards.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Why can't two friends fall in love?
That's fair. That's very fair. I don't disagree.
At Otterly Noah super chatted
Noah,
$5. Even Blade Runner wasn't well received at first, cause many did not really get it, then over time became a much better received film.
Exactly. Oh yeah, I'm seeing actual fandom. Hey, what's going on, Dane? I just saw you in chat. Sorry about that just now. Yeah, no. Blade Runner was negatively received at the time of its release. And I think a lot of that had to do with the ending and with the narration. It did affect people's opinions of it. Blade Runner didn't become popular in pop culture until the director's cut came out. When it was released without commentary, without the narration, and with a different ending. Yeah, so there you go. Anyway, back. I'm going to pause supers again real quick. And we're going to just jump into this real quick. Let's go back.
This is why nobody listens to professional reviewers anymore. Whatever the cost of selling your soul to your corporate overlords, I hope it was worth it, you bunch of dicks.
It wasn't about... okay, so anymore, it was the reviewers when it came out. Buddy, the people who didn't like Predator were the critics when it came out. You know, it was Siskel and Ebert, it was Leonard Maltin, it was those guys. It wasn't today's critics, it wasn't Rotten Tomatoes staff. It was, as we saw, the old guys. It wasn't about corporate, it was about anti-corporate. It was about getting the same action slop over and over again. And so Predator felt like more of the same to these critics. And quite frankly, these are critics who champion guys like Martin Scorsese. They were looking for the next Raging Bull. They weren't looking for the next Rambo knockoff. There were too many of those already. That's the issue. That is the big issue. It's always been an issue with it, you know? Back to this.
Anyway, let's talk about this unholy union twixt Predator and Disney, shall we? The movie kicks off on the Predator homeworld, which funnily enough looks almost exactly like the other planet where the bulk of this...
Now, again, a lot of people point this out. I don't know what you're talking about where a forest looks like a desert. This is like saying, yeah, you know, Tatooine, Endor, the moon of Endor, they look the same, right? They're the same planet. And Hoth, too, it's exactly the same, right? All three of them. Like, no, they're a little different. The biomes are unlike each other. This is also why Deck looks so out of place in the jungle area. because the predator does not belong. That predator does not belong in a jungle. He's a desert guy. You know, he lives in the desert. That's how it is.
This film takes place. Hats off for the imaginative environmental design, chaps. Anyway, for that reason, I'm gonna call it Generic Alien Planet Number 1, because that's all it is. This is also where we meet our main man, Deck, but henceforth I shall name him Lumpy, because it gives me literally seconds of amusement, and I need to take whatever wins I can get from this one. Anyway.
Okay. Again, let's take a look right here. Already, making fun of the predator design, that's the big first thing.
Anyway, Lumpy is preparing to go on his first hunt so that he can become a fully fledged member of his clan, but his toxically masculine dad has other ideas and instead orders his brother to kill him because he's the runt of the litter.
I don't know what they mean by toxic masculine. That has nothing to do with it. The predator is a... First off, Yautja society is matriarchal. They're like drow that way from D&D, from the Forgotten Realms. The Yautja... The women run things. The men are secondary citizens. That's the first thing right there. And you'd know that if you actually dug into Yautja lore, which you do not. I'm sure you'll say that's demystifying the predator by saying that women are in charge. And that's why you've never seen women in these predator films, because they're usually actually taking care of the real shit behind the scenes. So Deck's dad is actually just full of crap. He's purely image-minded. He fights his sons with invisibility when they can't use it. He is taken down surprisingly easily than the evil Dakota Fanning synth. So honestly, yeah, Dakota Fanning synths. They beat they beat Deck's dad probably in that sense. They're more dangerous, certainly. They were able to kill something that he himself couldn't kill. And once you got rid of his extra toys, his invisibility, he was nothing. He ain't nothing. The problem is he's image focused. He's purely arrogant and purely doesn't want anyone to look down on him and sees his son as an embarrassment. That's not toxic masculinity. That's a shit dad is what it is. You know, that's a crappy father. As a father myself, I can tell you when a dad's crappy, and Deck's dad's full of crap. So what it comes down to is this whole idea that, it's toxic masculinity. That's not what it is. He's just a shit dad. Media's always had shit dads, you know? That's a commonality. Is Gendo Akari's problem toxic masculinity? No, he's a shit dad. Full of insecurities. The dad has more insecurities than Deck does, because Deck is a representative of his signs of weakness, and the father can't have any weakness in his clan. No way. He's a sniveling little coward is what he is.
Situation soon go.
Oh, Ellie Fanning. Did I say Dakota Fanning? I'm sorry. Ellie Fanning. I'm so sorry. I got them mixed up. Elle Fanning. I'm so sorry. Elle Fanning. Supposedly Elle Fanning drew from like David from the Prometheus films for her portrayal, which is pretty cool.
Goes the way of your average Scottish wedding, and Lumpy ends up crash landing on Generic Alien Planet Number 2, where his mission is to find and kill the Kalisk, the most powerful and dangerous animal on the planet, and return victorious to Generic Alien Planet Number 1 so that he can take revenge on his toxically masculine dads.
It's Yautja Prime. The planet is Yautja Prime, which is the home world of the predators, of the Yautja, you know? It's not complicated. It has little monikers at the bottom that you can say have on screen. Scorpion, thanks for being a member for 10 months. I compared Yautja to Klingons and Saiyans once. Honestly, you're onto something there. The Yautja are basically like a mix between Klingons and Saiyans, I think in a lot of ways. More warrior focused, but still.
I mean, call me crazy here, but why not just go straight back there and kill him anyway? I mean, it's not like he's gonna have you back even if you do succeed. What?
Well, it's more to show him, you know? It's to bring it home is to show, I did something you could never do. It's not about getting his love. It's about giving him the middle finger before you go and kill him. Because Deck always plans on killing his dad. That's the thing. He always plans on getting revenge. He just wants to one-up him as he comes home to do it. He has all the tools he needs to do it when he figures out how to fight on the planet and gets better at it. He trains basically on this planet, comes back to have the skills to do so and the know-how. He's determined. This is for him part of his initiation into adulthood because he gets better at it. And because of the fact he's unarmed at first. He only comes back with the skills and tools needed and the kill necessary to win over the loyalty of his clan. That's the big thing. Because it's not just about killing his dad. It's about taking command of his clan, about assuming a seat of position, and about breaking his father's pride in the process. That's what it comes down to. And his brother died to get him to have this opportunity to hunt. His brother wanted to give him a chance to have one last hunt, one great hunt, and to bring it home. His brother's dying wish was to bring it home. And he does. He brings home the alien right to his father's footsteps. And it eats his face. It's great. Again, it's the ultimate revenge, you know?
Whatever. Let's just go with it so that the rest of the plot can happen. So
I love how uncritical he is. It's like, oh, why would he do that? Why not just kill him right there? Well, how could he? He's on a spaceship that won't follow his commands, at this point in time anyway, taking him to his destination. He's got to bring it home. His brother's dying wish. These are basic things that anyone who has a brain watching the movie can figure out. But they don't, so who cares?
generic alien planet number 2 turns out to be a hostile, danger-filled hellhole where literally every animal, plant and object wants to kill you. It's a bit like Australia, except the locals are more friendly. Anyway, this is where Lumpy runs into quirky android lady who was part of a Weyland-Yutani expedition to the planet until her team got attacked and torn apart, literally, by the Kalisk. Oh yeah, and she can speak fluent Predator.
No, she can't. No. As many people point out in response to this, she can't speak Predator. She has a universal translation machine. So it speaks into their minds. He hears the Yautja language. Anyone else listening will hear their own language. This is explained directly in the film that you're editing and you have a bootleg of. Because you're using bootleg footage. You could have just looked at the footage to find the answer to this, but you're not. Because presumably you're lying. You know? That's all it is.
How? Don't know. She makes some vague
hang on.
reference to other predators visiting the planet and talking to her, which makes no sense really because Lumpy's brother specifically said they don't go there because...
No, he didn't say that. He said the father was afraid to hunt the Kalisk because he feared him. The father was afraid to hunt the Kalisk. However, to know the Kalisk is there, they have to be on the planet. Also, Weyland-Yutani knows about the Yautja. Presumably, this takes place in the same continuity with AVP. Even though I know that the mainline Alien movies discount the AVP films, based purely on the timeline for the Predator films, Weyland-Yutani as a company is aware to some extent of the Predators, of the Yautja, of the Xenos at this point. So, and this takes place way in the future. So they know what Yautja are. They know all about that. You know, presumably. It doesn't necessarily mean the Yautja have been to this planet before with the Weyland-Yutani synths there. Just that the Weyland-Yutani synths know about Yautja. That's it.
They're all afraid of the Kalisk. Also, what are the chances that they'd land right in the very location where she just so happens to be and not just immediately kill her? Matter of fact,
the Predator doesn't kill harmless prey. There's no sport in it, you know? In the original, Drinker talks about how much he loves the original film. The original film, the unarmed civilian girl, she's fine. The Predator doesn't hunt her because there's no sport in it. In Predator 2, there's a cop who's pregnant. The Predator doesn't kill her. Why would a Predator kill a broken machine? There's no sport in it, you know?
in fact, what are the odds that Lumpy would just so happen to run into her as well when he could have landed literally anywhere on the whole planet? This was all very...
I mean, he does land somewhere else. He lands in a forest. You see, you might be forgetting this, but he actually has to walk a distance before finding Elle Fanning's character. That's what it is. Again, it's all cinema is, it's odd that's happened, but we don't know how much time has passed since the Yautja landed, since Deck wandered about. It's all shown through cinematic language, and not every step is shown. It could have been hours, could have been minutes, could have been days, until he encountered another being, like the synth. That simple.
Very lucky, wasn't it? Anyway, pretty soon they strike up a deal. Quirky android lady will help him find and kill the Kalisk if he'll take her back to her base camp so that she can be repaired and rescued. And many wacky shenanigans ensue. They're even
It's basically the best version of Monster Hunter we've gotten on film. Deck encounters a new monster, hunts it, feeds on it, helps at one point craft armor and weaponry from the remains of other monsters or the symbiosis of other creatures. It's a Monster Hunter film, basically. And it's great. It's a lot of fun. Let's keep going.
joined by a cute little alien named Bud who wants to be part of the gang as well.
I hate so much about the things that you choose to be.
But
this is how you know... Sorry, something else real quick. This is how you know Drinker's out of touch with everyone else. Because every single person, when Bud showed up, loved Bud. Every single person I know who has seen Badlands loves this little alien guy. Because it's cute, but a badass. And has an active role in the story. There are a couple scenes where it's like, oh, he's copying Deck because he admires him. But then you realize he's also a Kalisk and will help him out at the end. It's cool stuff.
can they hope to take down the most powerful killing machine in the universe so that he can finally confront his toxically masculine dad? Is quirky android lady hiding a secret from Lumpy? And what became of her sister Tessa, who also went missing during the expedition? The answer, of course, is who the fuck cares? Like I said earlier,
A lot of people care because they went to go see the movie. That thing I find so funny about this. It's like, oh, who cares about all this? It's all stupid. I'm like, well, people like the film. You know? People are, by and large, digging this movie. But let's see what he has to say.
Your ability to enjoy Predator Badlands is all going to depend on your perspective here. If you're somehow able to forget the whole Predator thing and just see this film as a generic sci-fi adventure movie with light-hearted comedy undertones that's clearly been geared towards a younger audience, then there's probably some enjoyment to be had here. The visuals are mostly fine. There's fun little action sequences to keep you amused, a likeable underdog protagonist with a clear emotional arc, and a well-worn but still effective central theme of friendship, loyalty, and redemption. That's all very nice. And on that...
So, what he's saying is, as a movie, everything works quite nicely. He's like saying, yeah, as a film, everything about it is good. Then what's your fucking problem, man? He's a likable protagonist. You say, oh, who cares? Like, well, who cares? Okay. Then you say, oh, well, it's a likable protagonist, has good themes and good action, good effects, looks good, is fun. Then what's the bad part? What's the bad part, my guy? You like everything you just said just now, despite complaining for 5 minutes, and the last 30 seconds of those 5 minutes, you admit, oh, the film's actually pretty good, actually. And what don't you like about it?
On that basis, Badlands more or less works as a slightly dumb, undemanding, but reliable sort of movie that doesn't ask too much from its audience. Here's the problem though, it's not a generic sci-fi adventure movie, it's a fucking Predator movie, and that name comes with some pretty important expectations. You don't walk into a Predator movie looking for a quirky buddy adventure with cutesy animals and family drama any more than you'd walk into a Saw movie looking for a romantic comedy.
Well, actually, you think about it, Saw... I'm kidding. No, well, I also don't go to a Predator film expecting a movie about autism as a superpower, or a film where an Academy Award-winning actor has a Wolverine accent, while the guy from that 70s show goofs around in the corner. But we got those also. Also, none of the humor in Predator Badlands is as ridiculous as some of the humor in Predator 2. Predator 2 has some really dumb humor. And also, quite frankly, hot take, The Predator, which was the previous Predator films before Disney bought it, had some of the worst humor in the entire franchise. The jokes in AVP Requiem and The Predator are infinitely worse than anything even coming close to humor in Predator Badland. And by the way, Predator Badland is lighthearted, but that's not the same as funny. There's some good jokes here and there, but the biggest joke in it is, Deck making a comment about about trying to crack a joke at one point after Elle Fanning's Android synth character makes a bunch of jokes throughout the whole thing. Like trying to lighten the mood, but is It's like what's it like? You can find like Finding Nemo with Dory. That kind of humor. Where it's like she's annoying but charming. It's that kind of thing. Again, a Disney film, yes, but it sticks. Here's the thing. Predator as a franchise has never been great. It has a great first film and a lot of good to mediocre sequels. That's the reality of it. I really love the franchise, but it's not Citizen Kane. It's not Lord of the Rings. It's not even Chucky. It's not even Child's Play level of expectations. It was a shock when Prey was good as it was, because we had been let down so many times as fans in Predator, consistently. Anyway.
Honestly, go watch the original Predator, then skip straight to this thing and just think about what you've witnessed. The difference in tone, style, and intent is more jarring than taking an F1 car to 200 miles per hour and throwing it into reverse. It's insane to think these two movies even belong to the same franchise.
Not really. They are pretty similar, actually, in a lot of ways. In terms of style, tone, even the level of jokes. The first Predator film has a lot of jokes. There's a lot of dumb jokes in that film, especially early on. The back half of Predator Badlands doesn't have any jokes at all in it. The only difference is that the Predator's the underdog, and it's a sci-fi film set in the future, the distant future. But in terms of action, in terms of structure, not really. It's just a different stage of the same timeline. The first half of Predator is a buddy action film. Arnold Schwarzenegger goes knock knock and shoots people in a freaking room. He throws a machete into a guy's chest and goes, stick around. Like, he's making stupid jokes the whole time. You got Jesse Ventura saying some of the dumbest jokes around, and you got the what's his name? Oh, who wrote the film and directed The Predator later on, with a lot worse jokes, coming in and making these deliberately bad jokes that make characters laugh or cringe. It's like, these films are not known for... Oh, Shane Black, thank you. These films are not known for their serious tone. The most serious Predator film is maybe Predators. That's the closest we get to a dead serious Predator film, and even them, you still got some goofy stuff in there too. It's like, these films have always been a little goofy. That's part of the charm. They were never serious films. And even then, Aliens still has more jokes in it than Predator Badlands. Aliens, that has more humor than Predator Badlands does. There's not a whole lot of jokes in the film. It's just one character who makes some jokes in the first half of the film, and the second half, barely a laugh, barely a chuckle. It's all action and aura farming from there on out.
Quippy humour and animal sidekicks absolutely do not belong anywhere near a Predator movie. I mean, why do you think Shane Black's film was such a gigantic clusterfuck?
Shane Black's film was a clusterfuck because it was from top to bottom heinous. The worst part of that film was the autism plot. A thing that I am still stunned exists in any film possible. That is one of the dumbest fucking things any human being has ever conceived of. Say what you will about the Star Wars sequels. You could say a lot. Or the Star Wars prequels. You can say a lot. None of them had a plotline as stupid as superpower autism. It's the stupidest freaking thing in the world. Yeah, Predators is badass. I like Predators quite a bit. That's probably before Prey, that was my favorite Predator sequel. Predators. Anyway.
I wouldn't exactly consider Prey a masterpiece either, but it definitely is compared to this thing, because at least it took itself and its characters seriously. I can't take any of Badlands seriously because the film itself treats every fight and plot event as a joke. And
what? That's what I find very funny. The action is never treated as a joke. The action is very, I thought with the action, it reminded me a lot of Genndy Tartakovsky's action scenes in like Samurai Jack and Prey. While there are moments of levity in the action, it's always visual storytelling. The final fight with Tessa, with the evil Elle Fanning synth, is badass, and it's an upgrade of the Alien Queen versus a power loader fight, taken to a new extreme. And the way it ends with is so badass and so kind of surprising, and it really cements Tessa as one of the biggest badasses in the entire franchise, because she's able to do something that no one, not even the other Yautja, can pull off. And it's raw aura farming. It's raw badassery. It's just nonstop cool. There's a great action scene involving detached legs. You know, is it goofy? Yeah, a little bit. But it's also really cool. And it never forgets that, yeah, this is a little silly, but it's badass. At no point do you have a Primal. What did I say? Said Samurai Jack and Primal, right? What did I say? No, who knows? Primal. It appears to be I'm mixing up names there. Must be a weird day for me. Point is, Primal, Samurai Jack, those kinds of action sequences. The animated Clone Wars as well, which also had some silly moments too, but it was always badass. It was silly, but it was cool. You can be silly and cool. Undeniably so, I think. Point of the matter is, though, these are action scenes that are cool as hell. But they're a little goofy. And that's fine.
Don't even get me started on Lumpy's creature design. Like, how the fuck does a movie from 1987 look better than a $100 million Disney project with cutting-edge special effects? How have we gone so far backwards?
Okay, let's actually compare these two for a second, shall we?
Edge special effects. How have we...
Okay, so right here, what's the big difference? Let's actually look. The Jungle Predator has tentacles on the side of his head. Deck has them on the top of his head. All right? We have brown skin, more pale with black patterns. More camo-coated, if you will. Full chest plate, half a chest plate with fishnets, I guess. You know what I mean? Shoulder cannon, which we know in the film is taken away from Deck because he lets his guard down around the plants in the jungle he lands in. First mistake. No bones. Okay. Well, he hasn't been in many hunts. More narrow jaw. Okay. Wider eyes. These are more beady. A little more human. A little deeper set. One's a fully grown Yautja. One's a young runt. One is meant to be intimidating and powerful. One is meant to be sympathetic and vulnerable in the face of the unknown. These designs accomplish exactly what the filmmakers are trying to do. And also, the Jungle Predator comes from the jungles of Yautja Prime. Deck comes from the desert. Animals that live in a jungle versus animals that live in the desert are very different in terms of physical anatomy. Jesus Christ. The problem is, yeah, I would argue that also this is not a shot from the movie, I don't believe. Is this an action figure? Hang on. Yeah. I think this is an action figure. Drinker, did you could just compare a toy to a special effect and think we wouldn't notice? You can even see the joints a little bit here. Dude, did you not know this wasn't a shot from the movie? Dude. First you conflate the AVP games with the movies, And now you're taking a fucking action figure that's probably made by Todd McFarlane or one of those masterful sculptors. I'll give them that. They're pretty good at their jobs. And you compare it to an in-motion shot that's zooming in on a guy. You take the shot you criticized for months now, that told us was terrible, and you compare it to a shot of an action figure that isn't from the movie you've constantly tried telling us is so good. Yeah, it does look real when it's a sculpt. You fucking nerd. That's great. That's great. Oh my goodness. That's fucking hilarious. Oh, what a way to show yourself as a fake fan. You didn't even notice it wasn't from the film, did you? You thought it was a shot from the movie. Oh, that's great. That is fucking funny indeed. You failed your perception check, didn't you, dude? Maybe put down the whiskey when you're editing this film next time, all right? Let's get some super chats play in. That's funny as shit.
At user_225_CCC super chatted $1.99. And do you prefer Blade Runner OG or 2049?
Oh, it's a good question. I'll go with the original. The new one's really good too, but they're both excellent. But the original I like
At
a little more.
Subrosian Dimitri super chatted $2. Shish, you can't bring context into this.
Oh, I know. Who am I kidding? You might find out there's an action figure pretending it's a film. That was the membership we mentioned before.
At WC Wit super chatted $5. Love that Quay-loving deck shows that Yautja culture is a culture and not something biologically inherent to them.
Exactly.
Refreshing for any work of sci-fi TBH.
Yeah, agreed. It should be a range of different creatures. They should be predators who suck, quite frankly.
At Wyatt Ahmedin 5747 super chatted $10. Theory time. The only reason Drinker is calling him Lumpy is to make the story seem less impactful than it is if he uses a silly name constantly when he recites the plot.
Oh, 100%. It's meant to make it look stupid. But it's not good. He's not doing a good job at it.
At user_225_CCC super chatted $4.99. Lumpy, quirky, what are these insults? I lift weights for bodybuilding. I mog the hell out of this loser. I should start making fun of his looks.
I wouldn't make fun of anyone for their looks. They might do it for us, but I'm not going to do the same to them.
At Eshan Espo 4181 super chatted $5. I thought Deck took years to fix his ship before going home to face his father.
Some time has passed because he had to make he had to fix his ship up, and
At Stingertopia 3169 super chatted $5. It's not a sci-fi movie, it's a Predator movie. What? Yeah. Every sentence out of his mouth makes it more and more obvious why his movie were bad.
Yeah, well, when you don't understand how storytelling works, that's what happens, I guess.
At Otto Johnny super chatted $5. Imagine a Predator movie that's a musical comedy.
Huh. That'd be something, I'll tell you that.
At DX Big Boss XB super chatted $10. Hey Anthony, big fan of your work.
Thank you.
Just wanted to ask if you ever plan on tackling how grifters and right-wing media critics weaponize box office figures. Not sure if you delved deep into that topic.
I did a video a while back, actually, on that same topic. It's actually pretty cool, back in July.
At The Man with Applin 7678 super chatted $5. AVP Requiem is the darkest of the franchise.
Yeah.
It's also the worst sad face.
Agreed. It's pretty terrible. Good Predator, though. I like Wolf from that movie. It's pretty badass.
At Stingertopia 3169 super chatted $10. Grifters, idiots treat most modern action, which usually shows realistically mixed, not one-sided combat compared to 80s, 90s, early O counterparts, which has them easily overpowering the antagonist.
Yeah, exactly. It's usually really dumb fighting techniques, actually. Watch Bloodsport today.
At Austin LaPlante 4203 super chatted $5. Hot take, most practical effects look terrible. CGI has its place and most of the time it looks fine.
Here's the unfortunate reality of things. Most shots are bad. Wait, hang on. Is this like a what's up with this little downloading arrow thing in the corner? Just noticed that. What is going on with that? It's weird. Anyway, but yeah, most effects look bad. Remember back in the day there was this gag in the show Doug. You ever see Doug the cartoon? There was an episode of Doug where Doug goes to the theater or something like that to watch like a new scary movie, and he chickens out when the monster shows up, and he has nightmares about what the monster could look like. And then when he actually watches the show eventually, he sees how bad the makeup is. It's like a really terrible monster costume, and in fact there was a zipper visible on the outfit. And that's kind of like what it all was back in the day. Even great movies have occasionally unconvincing effects, even in scenes that are otherwise incredible. There is a sequence from Nightmare on Elm Street, one of my all-time favorite films. I think it's a great film. There's two sequences I'm thinking of. On certain releases of the DVD, it had like the full screen release, right? And so what they did was they kind of altered the shot to make it fit on your screen. And in some versions, before they remastered it, there's a sequence where Freddy tumbles down the stairs, and it's a fire stunt. He's tumbling down the stairs, and in some of the shots, you can tell the actor playing Freddy is not Robert Englund. He just looks physically different, and it's a great fire stunt. It's like one of the longest fire stunts of that time. It's really incredible, but you know for a fact that's not Freddy Krueger. It doesn't look like him anymore. It looks like a guy in the outfit, but the physicality is all off. The way he's moving is all off. And while that is a great fire stunt, and great for it being a fire stunt, at no point do you believe you're looking at Freddy Krueger. It takes you out of it for a little bit. Still great, but that effect isn't convincing. So, there you go. Anyway, back to this.
We gone so far backwards. I honestly can't emphasize enough how soul-crushingly horrible a downgrade this actually is. Then there's just the stuff that's straight up irritating, the biggest of which is by far quirky android lady.
I wouldn't wish that on a broke dick dog.
See, that's a joke right there for the original. You're playing all these jokes from the original. Just because they didn't know you then doesn't mean they're not bad jokes.
Holy fuck, man. The moment she shows up on screen, my urge to ram my fist through the TV rose about 500%. Why on...
It's the TV. It's in theaters, though. Interesting. So I'm guessing you're admitting you bootlegged the film. I mean, you showed bootleg footage. So what am I talking about? Of course you bootlegged it. But then again, that begs the question, though. If you bootlegged it, couldn't you just go back and listen to the audio to make sure you didn't forget anything? Like you clearly did. I also find it strange how you're really, really hating on Elle Fanning, despite the fact that the internet immediately fell in love with Elle Fanning and admit. I mean, listen, I don't mean to be a jerk about this, but I don't mean to be that guy, but I am going to be that guy for a second. Where's the shot? Here you go. Okay. People, this is in poor taste, and I apologize. Oh, no, it's too small. Okay, I was gonna post. You've all seen the memes of the Elle Fanning butt memes, right? You've all seen them. I was gonna post one of those, but I feel like it's probably not in good taste to do that, so I won't. But
on earth would you program a synth for a high priority mission like this to act like some ditzy bimbo with Tourette's? She literally never shuts the fuck up.
I mean, they explain why she's programmed that way. They explain it in the film. You'd actually know if you could. You have the bootleg, presumably. Just rewind a little bit. About 50 minutes in, roughly. That 50, 60 minutes in, they have that scene where they're on the convoy back to the Weyland-Yutani base. Oh, you've seen that though. Of course, what are you talking about? You watched this movie totally.
Up, and 90% of what she says is inane, unfunny, meaningless babble. It's like being at a party and getting stuck with that one girl who's convinced she's funny as fuck and just won't stop trying to prove it to you. The more I think about it, the more I realise this is literally a Disney-fied version of The Predator, neutered and toothless, with all the tropes and cliches you expect from a Disney movie. An emotionally vulnerable hero on a quest to take down a monster, a sinister family member working against
a sinister family member working against them. It's the opening scene, and then the father never shows up in the movie again until the very end. Also, Deck isn't emotionally insecure. He just has adversity against him that tests him and pushes him against his limits. He's not insecure at all. He never questions himself until he's shown reasons why he should question it. I'm kind of wondering if you even watched the movie. Based on these discussions, it just sounds like you're talking about the first 30 minutes of the film, roughly, and then nothing else past that. Especially considering you didn't once talk about the final act of the film. Like, you would think that he would have a reaction to the Predator going all full monster hunter and hunting Weyland-Yutani synths, or discuss the fact there are no human beings in the entire film. It just seems odd that there's so many points of the film that people who watched it have talked about since the movie came out, and he's avoiding discussing it. There's like an entire half of the film you ignore. And all the things you're asking, it pays off in the second half of the film. I just find it strange because it feels like he's deliberately either misrepresenting what the film actually has happened in it or overemphasizing stuff in the first half. Seems odd to me.
Them a quirky sidekick for comedy banter, a cute little animal friend for merchandising purposes, and a sequel bait ending to help set up an extended cinematic universe.
Okay, so the sequel bait. The only thing you mentioned in the back half of the film is the sequel, which the sequel bait element. But here's the problem with that, Drinker. Every single Predator film has ended with sequel bait for its ending, except for the original. Every single Predator film has ended with sequel bait. All of them. Predator 2 ends with the pistol that has the date in it that implies the Predator has been here before in the past, as well as the xenomorph skull in the trophy room of the Yautja from in that city. Alien AVP ends with the Predalien being born. AVP Requiem ends with Yutani showing up and bombing the city, and implying that they're going to continue with this hunt. Predators ends with the implication there's more predators out there hunting them. The Predator ends with the Predator armor thing and them taking the fight to the Yautja. Prey ends with the Predators coming down in the credit sequence to the village, which pays off in Killer of Killers. And Killer of Killers ends with the Predator, with them running away and the Predators continuing the hunt after them. Every single Predator film ends with a sequel bait. And even by those standards, Badlands' ending is kind of mild. All it implies is that Deck's mom is coming home. That it's a personal journey, not a cinematic universe ending. It doesn't open the world up. It just continues Deck's story. None of that implies there's a bigger... In fact, when they first showed the ship coming, I thought they were implying that the Killer of Killers ship was coming by them. Not that it's just Deck's journey continuing. They're very different. Also, Killer of Killers was badass as fuck. I love that one. You want to talk about implying the cinematic universe? That one does way more when you see the Predator King or whatever his name is, the Grendel Predator, has a bunch of alien queen tails tied around as a cape. That is more of a world-building element than anything that happens in Badlands.
And it all just makes me feel kind of sick. The realization that just like Alien, this is what the Predator franchise has devolved into.
Devolved into? What series have you been watching this whole time, buddy? They all end with sequel hooks. Every fucking one of them. Except for the original. They've all been like this. The calls are coming from inside the house. And if you think this is overt, The Predator was almost going to end with frickin' Ellen Ripley or Newt showing back up. Nothing in the Badlands is as sequel universe baiting hooking as the ending of The Predator almost was. And how, for the last 3 or 4 films, they've been trying to get Arnold Schwarzenegger back for one last cameo at the end. I mean, come on, man. Come on, man. What fucking franchise are you watching?
A financial commodity instead of a sharp and violent artistic endeavour, reshaped and remolded into a safe, inoffensive, focus-tested corporate product, ready to...
Buddy. Sharp? Listen. It's The Predator. It's not fucking Blade Runner. You know what I'm saying? The Predator movies have never been sharp. They've been fun action films from start to finish. They are great action films. They're like a Rambo sequel with a horror element added in. They're not sharp, you know? I remember when I was reading Entertainment Weekly back when I was a teenager, and there was a new DVD release of Predator, the original, with a DVD commentary from a English professor. I remember in the magazine, they were commenting, oh, you know, the commentary talks about like the fight between Arnold and the Predator. It's almost like Hercules versus the Hydra in Greek myth. And they were like clowning on this guy, going, can you believe these people think the Predator is deep? It's a dumb action film. Get over yourself. I love Predator. I love this franchise. I've read the books. I've played the games. I've read the comics. It's dumb as bricks, man. There's no intelligence behind this franchise. The smartest you got was Prey, because it was dealing with cultural themes. But even that's not particularly intelligent or sophisticated. It's just thematic. It's resonant. It's a human experience kind of thing. It's raw. This isn't fucking Moon. This isn't Blade Runner. This isn't Stalker. This isn't Solaris. This isn't 2001. It's not Primer, and it's certainly not The Matrix. It is dumb action. Sharp. What are you talking about? Oh yeah, I forgot the sophisticated scene from the original Predator where they all shoot into the forest blind with all their artillery and machine guns. It's fun. I love every second of that film. But sharp? Come on, man.
To be churned out by the truckload until it becomes financially unviable. Well, based on the opening weekend projections, that eventuality might come sooner than expected.
Predator Badlands is the highest grossing Predator film in history, even accounting for inflation. It is currently the highest grossing film in the franchise. At no point in the franchise's history have more people gone to the theater to see a Predator film. Now, will it make a profit? I don't know. But it's certainly proof the franchise is more viable now than it has ever been in its history.
And you know what? It probably fucking should too. Predator Badlands isn't exactly a bad movie, but it is a terrible Predator movie that doesn't even hold a candle to the original. And if you want my advice, you'll save your money and catch it on streaming in a month or so. Believe me, you're not missing much.
It has been a month, and it's still not in streaming yet. And a lot of people ignored his advice because the film is, as I said before, the highest grossing Predator film, period.
Anyway, that's all of...
Now, why did we watch this review of Predator Badlands? Well, it's very simple. Because a lot of people in the culture war watched it. It has over 1 million views. And a lot of folks responded to it. We're not going to watch all of the responses because I want to kind of go in highlights as to what happened here. Because the back and forth over this film is one of the dumbest things I've seen in a very long time. But let's let some supers play in real quick.
At user_225_CCC super chatted $1.99. He probably thinks 80s kung fu films are woke 'cause Hong Kong.
Possibly. Even he has to know that sounds stupid.
At Kill Mickey Mouse super chatted $5. The moment I saw a woman, I wanted to punch the TV. Cool. Nice.
Yeah, imagine being so angry by a woman you want to punch your TV. No, come on.
At WC Wit super chatted $5. Deck is insecure the way a typical teenager with a chip on their shoulder would be, because that's what he is.
Yeah, basically.
At Cartoon49 super chatted $2. Thoughts on GDT Frankenstein on Netflix?
As bad as it would be, I say I have not seen it yet. I want to, but every time I sit down to watch it, my son has like
At Otterly Noah super chatted $5.
So
Predator is not thinking man's sci-fi, but to Drinker's limited mind, it probably is like Blade Runner or artificial intelligence to him.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, I love Predator. It's great fun. This is like the Predator franchise is a comfort series to me. Nothing makes me happier than on like a stressful day I can throw on the Predator and just chill with it. That are Aliens. Man, I'm really screwed up if those are my comfort movies. Anyway, I know the movie looks fantastic. The new Frankenstein. I want to see it. The problem is when you have a newborn, every time you sit down to see a new movie, your child will need to be fed and will cry in your ear, and that's going to distract you. And I want to really give it the attention it deserves. So, the Birdman's response, I think, was the most widely watched. Let's start with that one. Then we'll go with Noah's afterwards.
Predator.
We're not watching all of the Birdman review, but we're going to watch a couple clips of it because a lot of people responded to this one. Eric DeBunks responded to it, and he's had a lot of back and forth with everything. His videos are worth watching on their own because he goes into his own personal response. Who's the other account? High CHD also did one, and of course, Oddly Noah did. We're going to kind of look at a few of them. Oh, and KinoFlex has responded to, I don't know, some Oddly Noah, it looks like, response. The Pink King has a response. Eric DeBunks. Hell, what's funny is even Tyrone Magnus had a positive reaction. It's crazy. Anyway, we're going to watch a couple of different clips. So obviously a lot of people responded like we just did to his review because it was stupid. The Birdman is the one such person.
Badlands has released, and everyone and their mama loves it. Well, everybody except the usual suspects. However, it's another questionable take from Darth Grift that has compelled me to once again fire up the old Microsoft Word program to write this video. I am a real person using my real voice.
Yes.
I'm just better at this than a lot of other people.
Yeah, that's fair. Better mic system,
including
too.
the drinker.
Yeah, well, better mic system, certainly.
Life really is a matter of perspective. For example, your boyfriend isn't really a useless, effeminate pussy who makes your skin crawl. He's actually just redefining masculinity.
Bold of you to assume there are women with boyfriends watching your videos, drinker. Or gay men, for that matter. You see, you speak almost exclusively to right-wing incels that couldn't pay women to be with them. One only has to travel over to your neo-Nazi subreddit to see precisely how disgusting your fan base is towards women.
Here's one thing with the Birdman I gotta say I love. I personally don't do. I've said it before. I feel like a lot of people on the anti-grift side, we're all playing the same game but in different positions. Birdman goes for the jugular. In a way that I don't. I feel like I'm very like a little step back a little bit. I'm kind of like, very much looking at the ideas and trying to take everything as honest criticism. Birdman just cuts the bullshit and goes, no, these guys suck. These guys suck. I have to respect that. I will say this right now. The Birdman does not bullshit. And I have a lot of respect for that. Bullshit to me annoys me. I hate when people hide what they really think. Yeah, it just annoys me. So, there you go. I respect that. I wouldn't do it myself in that way, but I respect it.
Dylan1001 super chatted $6.58. So wait, now we just doing reacts of reacts video. I do like Birdman video. How far of reacts levels we going?
That's a good question. I'm not doing reacts of reacts. I'm doing a quick summary of things.
At Wyatt Ahmedin 5747 super chatted $5. Predator isn't a smart movie. It's a smartly made movie.
Mm-hmm.
Both are great, but there is a difference. Any actual film critic would understand that.
Exactly. We're going to skip around with Birdman. We're not watching every react here in its entirety. I wanted to watch all of Critical Drinker's video because from here, everything fans out. And as you will see very soon, it is impossible to watch all of the reactions this caused because, quite frankly, it gets stupid really fast. So we have the Birdman. That's one such response. And then we have, who's in chat currently, Noah's response. Noah, wave your hand at everyone and say hi, because we're going to you next.
Who boldly gushed over the film's humanization of the Predator and a possible romantic...
Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it.
So just recently, Predator Badlands just released in theaters, and surprisingly, against all odds, actually ended up waking up the box office after an incredibly slow October. No joke, this October was the absolute slowest for the box office since 1997, which really is...
Yep, exactly. It was a bad month.
At Scorpion104 super chatted $5. I mean, I did imagine Birdman as a basketball fighter like LeBron in Multiverses. I guess he's like, fuck it, we ball.
Basically. No, Birdman, here's the thing. Every single critic in the circle has a different approach, and I respect the different approach everyone has. You can't, and that's why I want to kind of call out people to say, hey, you're doing good. Your style is doing good. Because whatever you're doing, it's working. It gets under their skin. It presents an argument to people that can be digested and understood in a way that's fair. Anyway, so yeah, Noah's right. And again, look at the difference. Birdman goes straight for the to say anyone listening to the drinkers are moron. And Noah's like, hey, this is a necessary success in a dry spot.
At Gene Palpatine super chatted $1.99. What are Jacob's thoughts on this?
I have no idea what Jacob's thoughts are. I don't know if Jacob's seen the movie, honestly, so I couldn't speak to that. Anyway, so a little more.
It's not a good thing and kind of shows that theaters are unfortunately not as popular with audiences anymore. Or at least not to the degree they used to be before the pandemic. But thankfully, Predator Badlands seems to have revived the box office for November with a $40 million debut. This is also a much needed return to box office form for Disney, especially since October was a pretty bad month for them in particular, given Tron Ares and Springsteen Deliver Me From Nowhere were both major flops.
Yeah.
And especially with Tron Ares, I think you can draw a pretty...
Again, context. Vital context to Predator's success. This is a bigger deal for Disney than you might realize. Even if Disney does not make a lot of money on Predator Badlands, it's clear it's a franchise worth investing in because there's more of an interest in that than there is in whatever Tron Ares was. Anyway.
Unfortunately, it looks like a certain notorious subset of reviewers on YouTube and other platforms have not taken so kindly to this movie whatsoever. However, rather than actually offering any substantial criticism about Predator Badlands, it seems they're simply mad that a woman is one of the main characters in the film. Oh boy. And because of that, they seem incredibly upset and seem to think that Predator Badlands is feminist propaganda. I'm talking about none other than anti-woke film critics who really don't seem to like this movie at all, and one of the most notable ones for that would be none other than the Critical Drinker. The Critical Drinker is basically the poster child for this sort of anti-woke film criticism overall. Rather than...
Again, I recommend you watch Oddly Noah's review entirely, but it's not just about Drinker, it's about a lot of people. Birdman centers on the Drinker's video and goes in depth. Noah's a little more general. Now, another person who responded was High CHD, who I'm not as familiar with personally. Like full disclosure, I have spoken to Noah. I have spoken to Birdman. I have spoken to Eric DeBunks. I don't know if I've really spoken to High CHD as much, but he seems like a cool guy. I want to say he looks like he's in like SK's group. I'm not positive about that. The SEA and SK's group. And they're pretty nice to me, so that's all cool.
What's going on, everybody? We're back with another YouTube video. So I got the chance to see Predator Badlands, and I gotta say, it was absolutely peak fiction. Now, unfortunately, some other folks like
see, there you go. The games again. It's great.
Critical Drinker don't seem to think so, which, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with not liking a movie, you know, as long as it has to do with the actual movie and not just the fact that it's Disney making it.
Yeah, again, everyone's pointing it out. It's about the women. Oh, there's a woman in this series. It's bad. Oh, it's Disney making it. It means it's bad. You know, it's the same kind of response that we all picked up on. And I want to bring up two more real quick, real fast. There we go. So, Eric DeBunks.
I'm bored, and today we're going to talk about a bunch of liars. All right, fam, so Predator Badlands came out over the weekend. I've talked about it a little bit already. I'll talk about it some more on the Nerdcast later tonight, but I absolutely enjoyed myself with this movie. I've already seen it twice. I know a bunch of people that have seen it at least once over this weekend, some people that have also gone to watch it again, like myself, and we had a good time with it. I think it was a really good movie, a solid addition to the Predator and to some degree the Alien franchise. Luis Fernando here says, audiences have spoken. Number one, they found out a Predator movie to call theirs as 20th Century's new PG-13 action film, Predator Badlands, received a solid A- cinema Disney's leadership, and it's an incredible movie.
I didn't bother with As because... Why bother with As? under any circumstance. So yeah, Eric, he was mentioned. He responded. He's all good. Watches the Drinkers
Selling
video.
your soul to your corporate overlords. I hope it was worth it, you bunch of dicks. Anyway, let's talk about this unholy union twixt predator.
That's really, really, really crazy coming from somebody who literally sells out in every video.
Yeah, basically.
You are actually selling out right now in this video.
And Disney.
So Eric, again, has different style. Very blunt, very self-assured, looks at a lot of the technicals of cinema score and all that to get common perception of a film based on pop culture. Eric is a little more interested in the common consensus of film than I personally am. Personally, when a film, I kind of go with my own feelings on it more than the general consensus, but that's the metrics he wants to use for his criticism. It's a great idea. It helps with his style. I respect that quite a bit. One more person who spoke out who I don't think has been noticed as much in this conversation also is Pink King. Pink King it's funny. I find it very funny that people act like I have some. I've seen people who think that Pink King and I can't stand each other. It's actually wild because we're both really friendly with each other. We both get along quite well. And he helped me with my freaking Tim Burton video. But some people online think there's some deep rivalry between us, but there's nothing really going on. We're both chill with each other. Anyway, Pink King also put out a video too about the same thing.
Predator Badlands is beyond forced. So peeps, I just got back from watching Predator Badlands, the latest entry in the Predator franchise, and the second entry this year, believe it or not, with Killer of Killers releasing earlier this year. Now, y'all probably don't know this, but the Predator franchise is one that I hold very near and dear to my heart. I loved the first movie as a kid, even though
You see, Pink King actually put a video clip of the Predator in the... How hard is that? Put an actual image of the Predator. And that's also such a more badass image.
Very near and dear to my heart. I love the...
That's such a more badass image than the one the freaking Critical Drinker found. Look at that. That's a cool-ass image. And it's not an action figure. That's actually what he looks like. Even looking at this, you can tell this is... the Predator. It's badass as hell. I love that. Anyway, so that's all well and good. Those are five different reviewers who responded to Critical Drinker's response in short succession. And they're doing what I just did now. I'm not going to repeat everything they said because I think you should really just check out their perspective if you want to see it for themselves. All these creators deserve your respect and your viewership. I know all of them decently well, except for High CHD. I don't know him as well, but if you're in chat, say hi. I don't know. If any of you are in chat, by the way, just say hi and take a bow for yourselves. You all did fantastic, and you did it faster than I did. I've watched all your videos. They're all fantastic. Let's let some super chats play in real quick before we move on to the next stage of this whole drama, because what are they doing? We got to a reaction to a movie, reactions to that reaction, and now we're on tier 3. The reactions to the reactions of the reactions. And trust me, it gets worse. Anyway, let's let some super chats play real quick. This drama is dumb as shit. No offense to everyone involved. But...
Gene Palpatine super chatted $1.99. Why do you cry so much for clout?
I have no idea what you're talking about, but hey, if you want to pay me more money to ask questions, I'm down for it.
At Otterly Noah super chatted $20.
Thank you,
I
man.
like Tron, but Tron Ares was never gonna be a big hit NGL.
Yeah.
Jared Leto is a major deterrent, but Tron is a niche franchise as is. Plus they had a big problem trying to appeal to today's gaming generation with the third one.
Yeah, that's the other thing too. It's like Tron is a tough franchise to sell. I've always advocated for cyberpunk storytelling. I love cyberpunk. But Tron's a tough one. It's just too dated, I think. I think Tron Legacy did a good job, but Ares not so much. Anyway, let's move on to the big one. So, as I'm sure all of you know, there were multiple reactions to the reactions to these videos. And Yellow Flash did one. Let's do that real quick before we get to the big one that everyone talks about. Yellow Flash did a smaller reaction too, which is a manageable 10 minutes long. Trust me, you're going to miss this in a second.
Let's talk about Predator Badlands. It's been in the theaters for about 3 days, right? Not that long. Came out last Thursday. Had some, I guess, okay success at the box office. The
best top grossing Predator movie, man. I don't know why you try to I guess at this point they couldn't deny it was getting success.
Total was $80 million. I have no doubt this movie's going to make its money, but people are acting like this movie is a trendsetter. There's so many people glazing this movie. It's kind of turned
a trendsetter. What the fuck does that even mean? A trendsetter? What is a trendsetter anymore? It's not. It's a Predator movie. You know, it's not getting like 100. It's not getting $1 billion at the box office, man.
Me off to it, and I haven't felt this way since Kingdom Come: Deliverance 2, and that was because of everyone arguing about that quest where Hans hooks up with a dude. That was optional. I was like, what's going on here? I didn't even want to play the game. And I initially was going to. But all the fighting around that game kind of turned me off to it. And all the fighting around Predator Badlands has kind of turned me off to it.
Odd thing to compare to... What the fuck are you talking about, man? What does that have anything to do with this? Okay, whatever. Okay, I get it, but that's a weird comparison to make. And it's like you're trying to appeal to your audience going, remember this time in a game where you had the option of playing a gay character? That's just like what's happening with Predator Badlands, isn't it? Like, you're really trying to muster the grift up because you know that people, even especially your audience, generally like this movie. But I digress.
I voiced minimal criticism about this movie last week and just got attacked left and right by notably a lot of shills, a lot of Hollywood shills really coming out for this movie. Just turns me off to it. And I've heard it's a good movie from a few people. I've also...
So wait, you haven't seen the movie, but you offered criticism of the movie. You haven't seen the movie, but you criticized the movie. And you wonder why people didn't like your response. Okay. Just make sure I'm following it correctly.
Also heard it's a bad movie. But overwhelmingly, most people seem to like the movie. Great. If you like this movie, fantastic. But people like Grace Randolph calling people incels for not liking this movie, it just turns me off.
I don't care what Grace Randolph has to say. I really don't. I've never liked Grace Randolph. I'll just say that right now. Grace Randolph famously spread some negative rumors about Birds of Prey that turned out to have no merit behind them. She's not a critic I respect all that much. For a while, she had like this petty thing about Mary Jane Watson, where she just hated the character Mary Jane because I think she was like used to work for Marvel, but then I think was fired or I think was let go. I forget the exact circumstance, but she no longer worked for them, and there was like a little bit of bitterness there. And she's gotten her success since then. That's fine. Whatever. I just don't like her. I don't like her. I never think of her as an authority on anything. If anyone ever says, "Oh, Anthony, why don't you like this? Grace Randolph said this, and you love Grace Randolph," I'm like, "Who the fuck are you? Like, what are you talking about? I can't stand Grace Randolph. I think she's a clown." So that, and I always have. It's not a new development. I've thought that for years now. Ever since college, which is longer ago than I'd like to admit. But yeah, so opening up right now when the big criticism is not about Grace Randolph. No one's talking about Grace Randolph. They're talking about the responses to Critical Drinker. That's what the discourse in your circle has been to. But I guess Grace Randolph occupies a major role in your world, even though no one outside of the most hardcore film critics or film fans know who Grace Randolph is by name.
Now, a good example of what I'm talking about here is showing itself from this Critical Drinker review.
Here we go.
And I'm not talking about his review. I'm talking about the reactions to it, which we're going to get into because now they're going after him because he had a pretty successful video here. I mean, look at it. 1 million views. That's
interesting. That's very interesting. 1 million views 3 days after. But as we saw, right now his video's sitting at about... How much was it? 1.1 million. Huh. That's interesting. So, 1 million views after 3 days, and usually a video that gets that many views that quickly has a bigger influence. Like that much view time that quickly, it extends past its lifespan, especially when it's being talked about so much elsewhere. Does that mean that most people who watched the video that Critical Drinker put out watched it before seeing Predator Badlands? Does it mean that once people saw Predator Badlands, they didn't actually regard his review as all that impactful? Now, mind you, 1 million's a lot. But 1 million that drops off to only 100,000 after 3 weeks later, that's surprising. That means there's no shelf life to the review. That means it expired after coming out. Yes, that's successful in the moment. But that tells me it has no staying power. At least not in the algorithm anyway, which is fair, you know, hey, it's a Predator review. But people have been talking about this topic and making some successful videos since then. And Yellow Flash does not have a channel as big as Critical Drinker, and it's not an offense, neither do I. And had a pretty decent response to this video. And the Birdman, not as big a channel as Critical Drinker, though, you know, some might argue some schematics. His video is still getting viewed about this topic at a percentage relative to the initial 3-day total he got. More staying power, fewer views, yes, but more staying power, relatively speaking. I think it's interesting. It's not a real point to be made with it. I just think it's neat how it looks like most people who watch Drinker's video hadn't seen the movie yet. It must have been the opening weekend. Just saying.
There's a lot of people that have watched this, and it seems to have people pretty unhinged. Because, well, not a lot of people that might not go see this movie now. I don't know why people get so invested in it.
See, that's the thing too. It's like, why are people invested in this movie? It's like, well, it's because he's wrong, and they're clowning on him. That's why.
But people are outright pissed about anyone that's not enjoying this movie. And he talks about that right here. I'm going to play this and then show you some reactions.
Life really is a matter of
perspective. We've seen this already.
Saying whatever. I mean, it's obviously there for to really
humanization of the Predator and a possible romantic relationship with a fucking android. Stuff like this is why women's fiction should be
piece of a movie. It's just consume more bullshit, man.
Oh, so watching Twitter.
I don't want comedy in all of my movies. Research, going and seeing what the critics are saying about something before it comes to theaters. Good company here. They have put me together with two. You're not allowed to criticize. Maybe it's an amazing movie. It's got
the problem. Okay, so he's looking at Twitter reactions. He's not looking at any of the videos. So, which I feel is dodging the point. He's trying to avoid looking at the very successful videos rebutting the Critical Drinker. Okay, whatever. I guess there's nowhere else to go, but we're not watching the whole of this, by the way. Then EFAP decided to respond to this. And they responded by attacking every single individual critic who responded to this video, with one key exception. So EFAP released their 5-hour and 50-minute stream about the topic. Honestly, they're really going mild in this one. If they only did under 7 hours for 3 or 4 different videos, but I digress. I'm not going to watch this whole thing. I'm going to skip to a couple points where it looks at his highlights.
This is.
I guess
Grizzly
Baz,
he's a
but they
grifter.
grift.
He's a grifter.
Yeah, Grizzly Baz, but they grift.
They thought
These
that
are cunning description, really articulate stuff. They're all talking over each other, really articulate. And Eric the Bunks has responded to his section, so I'll let him speak for himself on that one. I don't want to speak for him. He has his own response. We're not watching this entire thing. Do you think I could stand sitting through a reaction to a reaction where they're all talking like this the whole time?
Really clever.
Really clever.
Holy
really
shit.
good stuff.
Holy
Yeah,
fuck,
that was-
that's amazing.
Griff.
I think Az is on there, I think, if I remember correctly. Is Az there? I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't think so. Do you think I could sit through 5.5 hours of that nonsense at 1.25 speed? It'd be the most boring reaction possible. We're not reacting to their reaction. We are going to look at sections, but not the whole thing. So EFAP, 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 EFAP. They have like the. Do they have like this little? Do they have like this overlay on top of everything? What are you even watching here?
Really, really close to Thea, and also really, really close to.
Is that Rags' video? Looks like Rags' icon in the corner there. Huh.
The Baby Yoda.
Same location. This is a pretty
go,
common
Noah.
tactic for grifters overall.
Oh my god, what the fuck? What,
It's a
analyzing the
tactic.
plot?
It's a tactic.
Jesus, you're making grifters look awesome. You guys
I want to
stop,
be
dude.
I want to be a big griffly bear.
Instead of actually criticizing any real part of the film or piece of media that they're covering, they'll often just nitpick things when they can't actually find anything to criticize. Which, given the fact—
So you just, all I'm getting subtextually is you think he's right. He's correct.
So you could watch Mueller fail to actually understand what a basic review saying things clearly says. You know, that's fine, I guess. Or you can look at the whole thing as words. Or you can look at how this fits into context. EFAP responded to Oddly Noah, High CHD, and Eric DeBunks' response to Critical Drinker. Now, I mentioned before, Mahler's channel is pretty big. You know, Mahler has a big channel. This is his Mueller channel. It's 152K subs. You know, hey, we're getting close ourselves. You have a channel, Little Platoon, Fringy, Rags. You have their Every Frame of Pause highlight section, whatever. Little Platoon, 200K, pretty big channel. Fringy, 53K. Okay, pretty decently sized. Rags, 300K. His last couple videos were about Skitty. One of his recent videos was about famous YouTuber Skitty Bitty, where he failed to actually rebut anything that Skitty said. But I digress. The Mueller channel is, of course, pretty decently sized. Let's pass. But yeah, it's just funny. You know, let's look at... Now, listen. Noah is a rising talent on the platform. By comparison, though, Noah's channel is much smaller than EFAP's. You know, it's 37K subs. Eric DeBunks, High CHD's channel, it's 18K. Eric, I think, is under 10K. But, you know, it's funny who they didn't respond to. Very strangely. They didn't respond to the elephant in the room, which is the Birdman. It's very odd, I think. Didn't do that. So as Eric DeBunks points out, I'm only going to play one of his responses because he had a bunch of responses to this whole drama since then. So that's the fourth layer, because we have the video, the responses, the responses to responses, and the responses to responses to responses. As you can see, this drama gets stupid really quick. So, where was it? So EFAP, right here, they responded. Cool, right here.
Apparently, EFAP is attacking my channel. All right, fam, so it came to my attention over the weekend. I had a busy weekend. Busy weekend. But it came to my attention that there was an EFAP done on my video about Critical Drinker and Otterly Noah's video that was also done about Critical Drinker. It came out around the same time last week. They covered those two videos. They ignored another one. More on that in a minute. They ignored another video on this very same topic suspiciously.
Yeah.
I have my opinions.
Yeah, very suspiciously, isn't it? And that channel... Oh, God. Shadiversity did one. Oh, God, I'm not going to bother responding to that one. Shad did one. Hang on. Okay, hang on. Okay, I got it. I'm sorry. Guys. Oh. Wait, what? He's this... Oh, is that Lit Devil with you, buddy? And Comicsgate's own... What's his name? Mike S. Miller. Oh, it's all the whole crew's all here. It's a whole party. Everyone's invited. Okay.
This is yeah. So BBC's Director General Tim Davie and the Chief Executive something like a bit flat about it.
A bit monotone.
A bit monotone. But if you're not, my kind of standard for obvious bad CGI is the Flash film, where it was just a nightmare.
For me, with the
fuel.
Predator franchise and stuff, it's just been going downhill and downhill and down. I've heard some good things about Prey. Obviously, Lit Dev, you don't feel the same way about it. But I haven't even seen Prey. Like, since I think
that judging on its own merits, she
Okay,
isn't a girl boss.
They're not
That,
actually responding to anything. They just like talking. Okay, it's not as fun. I thought they're going to engage with the conversation more meaningfully, but who cares? Anyway, the point of the matter is the one person they ignored is the Birdman. The Birdman was completely omitted, and it's just strange when you look at, like, I don't know, I feel there's something. There's got to be some reason why they ignored the Birdman. What could that be, though? I don't really know what reason. Oh, it's right. 317K. The Birdman's sub count is larger than all of their sub counts, except for the Mauler main channel. And maybe, I think, Rags. I don't know. There you go. So, obviously, yeah, right here, we got this going on.
Specific friends of the channel, Eric Debunks, High CHD, and Otterly Noah were recently called out on EFAP. I don't know what the correct parlance is. Fapped? Jerked off? I don't know. The point is, those three creators got an EFAP video made about them, specifically about their responses to the Critical Drinker Predator Badlands video. And I saw Eric's quick response to their video where he makes the point that EFAP seems to have left out a very specific YouTuber who calls out the Critical Drinker. And
hey, you're up to 1,000. Good job, man.
Who just so happens to also have a response to Drinker's Predator Badlands video. Eric makes the point that it seems suspicious that everyone that made the video is significantly smaller than EFAP, and that because I'm bigger than them, they're steering clear of me.
And the last thing I want to address is the lack of a reaction to the Birdman's video, where the Birdman shares almost every single opinion that I have, maybe Noah's as well, but for sure my opinions on the Critical Drinker's content. He goes in and he absolutely demolishes and destroys Critical Drinker. We all took our swings. He swung really big. And they're ignoring it. And the reason why they're doing that, and this is a big red flag here, is because the Birdman has more than double the amount of subscribers they have. And his video has 111,000 views in 5 days. Even though we share all of those things, you ignored his video because you can't punch down.
Yep. That's how it is. It's very interesting how that works, isn't it? I think with, now, mind you, I will say this, the Mauler channel does have more than Birdman, I'm pretty sure. And Birdman doesn't really bear Mauler particular ill will. I mean, neither do I, really. And I know EFAP has covered me before, but I feel like Mauler is more in his own way, especially with his recent video where he pads out a Star Wars Outlaws review. He gets in his own way. He's stifling his own perspective. The thing is, though, a lot of people like Oddly Noah, ICHD, and Eric Debunks, they're punching up. You know, they're much smaller channels criticizing the big guy. And mind you, also, not to brag or anything, guys, but your EFAP only has a fraction of the views mine does. Get on my level, guys. Sorry, Noah, your EFAP is, it didn't get as widely viewed as mine. Oh, I'm sure you're so upset by that. Also, the fact it's a 6-hour video. It's ridiculous, you know? Yeah, actually, what's mine up to on here? What was mine? It was Mueller. Yeah, you're at 74,000. How much? Actually, it's I'm not gonna lie. That's decent reviews for these guys. Nostalgia Critic versus Lord of the Rings. Was it the old Nostalgia Critic video from like? You're criticizing the Nostalgia Critic now? Like that's something you guys were making fun of me for doing a year ago. What the frick? The Lord of the Rings one. That's like an old video of his. That's like 15 years old. Okay, buddy. I mean, I would do that for fun, but like, That's what you spent like a week doing? Like his Lord of the Rings? I don't know, man. And what was my EFAP? What was the one where they mocked me? It was about a year ago. Damn. If you see my face, let me know. That was over. What was it? That was a interesting experience. That was a fun weekend. Let's see. It's somewhere around here, I think. I think mine was at... Oh, there I am. 213,000. Noah, get on my level. 74,000. Those are rookie numbers. Pump them up. Point of the matter is, though, that, and mind you, what's funny there, I did the math. At that time, I had 10,000 subscribers. Now I have 100,000. Birdman, 300,000 subscribers. Doesn't get mentioned. Eric DeBunks, 8,000, gets a whole section devoted to him. A whole hour or two of the video. And mind you, I didn't actually talk about this issue when it happened because I was doing something else at the time. I was busy. I was getting caught up with my son. It was all this, that, and the other. I didn't really have a lot of time. Yeah, Noah, get on that. Noah, those are rookie numbers. You got to pump those up. But yeah, no. So like, that's the reality of it, isn't it? Like, it's very strange how these guys focused on. And look at Yellow Flash. Look at Shad. Devil for that matter. They're targeting random Twitter accounts to make them sound like crazies. They're looking at Grace Randolph, a person who just about everyone doesn't take seriously on any side of the political factor. And I think I see Kino Flex is now responding to Oddly Noah right now. So like, what actually is the target? It's the small guys. It's the ones they can poke fun at. Now, I know Birdman doesn't necessarily believe that necessarily, but he is citing it as a point of reference. It's interesting, isn't it? How they gotta look at the smallest voices and say, "Oh, these guys are outliers. They're kooks. They're our rogues gallery. We gotta find them and bully them down." Meanwhile, most of the other guys responding, it's a pretty wide margin. Of course, Pink King was totally ignored. I'm sure Pink King was upset by that. He didn't get EFAP'd as well. It's just strange, isn't it? It's pretty strange that these big accounts, these massive channels, are targeting the smallest of their critics in some cases, or their moderately sized critics, but ignoring the biggest audiences against them. And again, it's even stranger that despite relatively so much interest being around Critical Drinker's video, relatively speaking, there's a lot of interest around it, and none of them translate to the views after the reactions come out. The reactions drop, and after getting 1 million views in 3 days, Critical Drinker only gets another 100,000 for a movie that's still in the conversation weeks later. Why is that? I get more than 100,000 views on videos that are successful after their initial run, and I have less than that initial startup in the first 3 days. Usually I can successfully expect a video to, let's say, hypothetically speaking, I have a video that hits, let's look at this. I'll give you an example right now. So to give you why this strikes me as very odd, my recent Jurassic Park video, right? In the first 24 hours, it got about 13,800 views. Second day, just short of 23,000. It now sits at 148,000. After about, how many days is that? That's about 10 days, about 11 days, right? So over time, that's an exceptional one. That one rose up in the ranks pretty quickly, but that's a case where strong view time, strong viewer retention, that helped push it in the algorithm continually. And it's about a topic that is outdated. It's about dinosaurs, and Jurassic World came out a while ago. There's no trending topics to push it forward. And that's my channel. Critical Drinker, if he got 1 million views in a couple days, realistically, he should continue to get more views. So why didn't he? See the problem? Why didn't he continue to get more views than 100,000? And that's assuming, of course, He wasn't at 1 million with a fraction. That's like only 100,000 views in 4 weeks after the initial 1 million in the first few days. I think the problem is the potential audience watches the reactions instead, and they're threatened by it. But they're not stupid enough to copyright strike the critics. So they have to demonize them, or at worst, point away from the biggest names doing it to make it look like only a couple small channels are reacting. Yeah, oh yeah, I've seen the comments. Yeah, Mahler's new video is 17 hours long for Star Wars Outlaws. And a lot of it is padded. I've seen some of it. It is a lot of clips where, a lot of segments where he'll show like 5 other guys saying the same basic thing he's talking about, one after the other, unedited. Just straight through. It's like, it's not even like a lack of concision, it's padding. He doesn't need it. He can just show the highlights of those streams, not the whole unedited clip. It just extends the view time too long. Even his own audience is annoyed by this one. I took a look at the Mahler subreddit, as I do sometimes, to see them make fun of me. But on this case, I saw a lot of his audience going, hey, doesn't this feel padded? Doesn't this feel boring? And that one got, I think it got like 143 something views when I saw 143,000 views when it dropped. How much is that at now? How much is his video now? Yeah, so about 411 million. See, right there's an example, 411,000. Right there, there's an example too of what I'm talking about, isn't it? Mahler's video had an initial run. It's only about 3 days in. Continual growth. So, just seems odd to me, that's all. Seems very odd to me. So yeah, that's a factor right there. But anyway, the point all stands. Whole thing stinks. Anyway, let's add some super chats playing real quick.
At WC Wit super chatted $5, a trendsetter? No, people were saying it was a good Predator movie.
Yeah, that's it. It's a good movie. That's it.
At WC Wit super chatted $5. Why do they keep citing Grace, pathological liar, Randolph as the key example of people who like this and not actual respected film journalists?
Easy one to point to. Easy one to point to. That's it.
At super chatted $4.99, I'm placing my bets that in the next 5 years, the critical drinker is going to be treated more like a locale like Darksideful.
I can see that. I can see him also being like a nostalgia critic that's remembered nostalgia.
At Cassie Hoge 1677 super chatted 38 cents. EFAP is now doing short-length content, I see.
Yeah, very short. I know, very short form content, only under 6 hours.
At Otterly Noah super chatted $5.
Thank you, Noah. Thank you.
This is exactly why I didn't bother responding to them, LMAO.
Yeah.
These guys are such a joke, can't even be organized in a Discord call together.
Yeah, they all talk over each other. How can you listen to that and be like okay with it?
At Dylan 1001 super chatted $6.58. Speaking of Mahler, when the debunk of the 17-hour Mahler video where it just saying it's bad for 5 seconds.
Oh man, I don't want to waste my time watching that one. I haven't even played Star Wars Outlaws, so I have no opinion on that
At
one.
At Stingertopia 3169 super chatted $5. Saw the length of that video and I genuinely almost died from sheer disgust. How does he pad like an hour or 2 long video to that far an extreme?
Never underestimate Mahler's ability to yap. He will continue to yap. That was my big criticism of him. He just
At
yaps.
Otterly Noah super chatted $10.
Thank you.
Similarly,
MVP
I know
today.
people who watch Drinker even got annoyed at the Predator Badlands video. Someone commented on my video saying that his Predator video was the last straw for them.
I can see that, though. I can see that, because a video doesn't fall off the algorithm after getting that many views that quickly, that fast, unless there's something going on there, you know? Low watch time, that's a factor, relative to view count. High unsubscribe rate, that's a factor as well. And Drinkers videos get a good initial run because it's a massive audience and they're algorithm friendly, but they fall off quickly because they have no staying power. Drinker is not, and listen, I make video essays. I make long-term evergreen videos. So my perspective is a little different. I try to go for stuff that's going to last for a week, 2 weeks, a month, 3 months in terms of audience retention. a lot of my older videos get viewed to this day, even ones that came out over a year ago, because there's an interesting topic that's evergreen, right? And I'm not getting like millions of views a day, but I'm getting enough. I'm getting enough. The problem is Drinkers videos don't have any staying power. They just don't, Oh, God, is a good point.
At Subrosian Dimitri super chatted $2. Outlaw's main story is only 18.5 hours, by the way.
Yeah, it's not that long game from what I understand. Again, haven't played Outlaws. I would be up for it, but I'm just not. People don't realize this. I'm not a huge Star Wars fan. I like Star Wars quite a bit. I like talking about Star Wars, but I'm not like, when it comes to like some of the games, Knights of the Old Republic was fantastic. That whole series is great. Force Awakens I really dug. But like I like the Jedi Survivor games. Those are fun. Battlefield's good, but like I'm not like so into it that I'm going to seek out every game that comes out for it. Unless it looks good. Like if they made a remake of Knights of the Old Republic, I'd play that, but
At Thinavo3893 super chatted $5. Drinker and Muller popularity stem from the fact they hate on popular thing people hate. Once they made video about anything else, it's fall off.
Yeah, I agree. I think the problem is, and this is my theory as to why they're so threatened by all these different critics and why it's gotten to this ridiculous extreme. And I know Eric has made like 5 different videos about this. So again, watch Eric Debunks if you want to see the specific, his rebuttal to EFAP specific comments, because he's has a lot more interest in that response because obviously it's his video they're talking about. I think it's because they feel threatened by the discussion. They are not in control of this discourse anymore. And that's a big deal. With people like this, they have to control the narrative. They control the narrative with Captain Marvel, for example, and that led to whatever they led to. At least online, people watch Captain Marvel. Maybe more than I think they should have. I don't think it's nearly as... I think of the movies to cross $1 billion, I think it is one of the weakest, in my opinion. But like, they controlled the narrative on that for a very long time. And I think they've gotten used to controlling the narrative about Star Wars, about the Acolyte. But this, they just can't. They can't control Predator because the audience for Predator knows what it is. It's not Star Wars. It's junk food. The Predator has never been Star Wars. The Predator is fun. It's dumb. It's goofy. It's exciting. It's entertainment. It's not, it never has been, and never will be, sophisticated concepts. No one watched The Predator and felt, this is my childhood. I feel like an important connection to this movie. No, it's fun. It's fun and entertaining. You watch it, have a good time about it. You're not watching it to have like some massive, complicated thing, I'm going to take a look to see what was done this week regarding this topic as well. Because there's been a few. Kinoflex, of course, on top. Stranger Things? Why the frick is Stranger Things coming out? Okay, that's true. Super chat coming in. Cool.
At the guy 493 super chatted $2. So who'd win in a fight? Samus or the Predator?
Samus. I think Samus would win. I feel it's a fair one.
At _Java_698 super chatted $10. Hi Aunt, hope you're doing okay and adjusting to father life well.
Oh, a little bit.
For some reason I couldn't get notifications for your streams, but I got it now.
That's weird.
17 hour for a game review is pushing it even for Mahler.
Yeah, I think it's Mahler's longest review, I think. And it's exhausting. Like, how the fuck do you talk about anything for 17 hours, And again, a lot of it is padding. And a lot of it is just gameplay footage. Like, they are Let's Plays that are shorter than Mahler's Outlaw review. And it's and quite honestly, for Star Wars Outlaws, the video is succeeding on his channel because it has Star Wars in the title. No one cares about Star Wars Outlaws all that much. Let me be perfectly blunt with you. No one cares about it. Not even fans of the games care enough about it to watch a video for 17 hours. And it's funny too because the same weekend this video dropped for Mahler, there was a massively successful video by Defunctland about Disney's Living Character Initiative. You want to talk about critical videos on Disney? Defunctland has you beat. This video is scathing about Disney. Defunctland's video is, it's at 2.5 million views right now. Take a look at this. 2.5 million views in a couple of days. And it's not, it's not as long as Mahler's video, but it's still pretty decently long. And it's 4 hours in length, and it's worth every second of that video. It is fantastic. I recommend. And Defunctland has a lot more subs than Mahler. That's true. Has more subs than The Critical Drinker. That's true. And the thing with Defunctland is their videos are evergreen. So they're going to be relevant for a very long time. They don't have a lifespan like EFAPS does, And highly recommend this one. This is the video to watch this weekend. And at the same time, another video channel I like also dropped a very long video about a nonsense topic. I screwed up his name. Here you go. Yeah, same day this drops. I didn't finish this one yet because I was a little slow with it, but I've been enjoying it so far. Freaking Cat Icarus dropped a video reviewing, of all things, the startup program for the Switch 2. Like the little introductory software program. 2 hours in length. Decently long video. 500,000 views. Just around the same time that EFAP dropped it. And you know what I can bet, realistically? I bet Caddy's video has a higher viewer retention than Mahler's does. I bet we can't see. Let's take a look at something real quick. So Caddy's video right here. How many likes does it have?
My wedding. Where are the magnets that keep?
It's so funny. I have to finish it. 35,000 likes, right? That's a decent amount. Let's bring up the other one. So by comparison, this up real quick. By comparison, Mahler's video. Interesting. This is very interesting. So, Cat Icarus's video. 35,000 likes. Mahler's. 17,000 likes. Substantially longer, 17 and a half hours versus 2 hours. What this indicates to me is that people have actually finished Caddy's video. And far fewer have finished Mahler's video. Or at the very least, liked it. Which implies either lesser viewer retention or the multiple views from the same people coming back to finish the video. Which means fewer unique viewers. And also means lower retention per click. Which means, in a weird kind of way, Caddy's video might have more watch time than Mahler's, despite it being longer.
At Kagod Super Chatted $5. The only way anyone watched all of Mahler's video is if they fell asleep with it on and forgot to turn it off when they went to work the next morning.
That's possible. I mean, a lot of people watch it to watch videos before bed. I mean, I do, but still. Anyway, the point is these guys aren't as successful as they think they are. And hey, that's fine. Hey, you got your bag, you have 500,000 views. It's a big deal. But 17,000 views. Let me take a look at something real quick, like real fast. 17,000 likes. Not views. 17,000 likes, right? 17,000 likes. What? I feel like I've seen that number before, haven't I? Yeah, I've seen 17,000 likes before. 17,000 likes. What am I looking for with 17,000 likes? I feel like I've seen that number before. Oh, yes, I have seen that number before. Many times. Many times elsewhere. Oh, here we go. Here's something fun. Okay. I've gotten the number before in some of my videos. I have a few videos that have that many likes on them. And they, guess what? Also, fewer views than Mauler's video, but more likes, which tells me, I think, more people sticking around to watch these videos. Again, I'm getting sidetracked. It's not relevant to the stream. I want to wrap up this topic, though, because I do have, got to make sure we take care of the kid. So what do we get from all this? What's the point of this whole back and forth, this whole discussion? Yeah, Quentin reviews are obnoxious, though. I'll say right now. A 48-hour video on Beverly Hillbillies is ridiculous. That is stupidly long. I never watched the Quentin reviews ones either. I feel like it's mostly summary. I got like some of what Quentin reviews does, but like I'm not like, I don't know. I've heard some. I don't know. I've heard some mixed things on Quentin reviews, but I'm not big on the whole Disney series thing. Also, I don't like that. And also, I don't like his summary style all that much. I like some of his older stuff decently, but I feel like he's fallen into like summary more than analysis. It's kind of like recapping the whole series, doing all this. And I don't know. But yeah, no. EFAP editing Eric's video is also insane. Yeah, they also re-edited a lot of it too. They cut stuff out to make Eric look more ridiculous. I'm sure they did it with Noah as well, and with High CHD. But I'm not watching through the entire EFAP because it sounds boring, so I'm not going to do that. But yeah, no. It's just like, I don't know. I feel like there's got to be a reason why you make a video that long. Got to have intention behind it.
At Mantis1515 super chatted $6.58. I really don't understand how someone can have that much to say about a Ubisoft game of all things. Ubisoft games are the game equivalent of fast food.
They're barely even that much. Oh, no, they did cut stuff out of your video. Okay, that makes sense. So they re-edited smaller channels' videos to mock them. And mind you, every member of that EFAP group had more subs than all the people they talked about. And the funny thing is, too, remember a while back I mentioned Rags, right? When he was mentioning Skitty Bitty's video that he responded to? Yeah, so that was from Skitty Bitty's side channel. Let me show you what I'm talking about right here. I mentioned this a while back. I guess I clicked out of it, whatever. So, to demonstrate here, let me show you something real quick. So, Rags. Here you go. So, this video right here from Rags, right? The anti-wokes are worse than wokes. I watched that a while back on stream. Now, 81,000 views for Rags. A bit of a fall off. Whatever. He's on EFAP all the time. He makes content regularly. I can't complain. That's a response to Skitty Bitty's channel. Right? And Skitty Bitty, of course, friend of the channel, Skitty Bitty. We talk regularly. Worked in some projects for them. Skitty Bitty's channel is about 6,000 subs. At the time, much less. But there's a catch, because if you look at Skitty Bitty's channel, the video Rags responded to is not on there. So you're probably thinking, well, where's the channel? What channel was it? Well, it's this one. It's Skitty Bitty's side channel with 6,000 subs. Rags attacked a video, specifically this tiny 4-minute one from YouTuber Skitty Bitty with less than 10,000 views at the time, because he couldn't target a channel his own size. And I think that's the whole thing in miniature, isn't it? These guys can't argue against someone their own size. Look, Mauler has almost 500,000 subs. When was the last time Mauler specifically took on that kind of challenge? With EFAP, he takes on big figures like Nostalgia Critic, who are like more public figures who never respond to anyone criticizing them, outside of casual, whatever. Or he targets smaller channels that can't respond themselves. And when those channels get bigger, all of a sudden it's gone. They stop. I'll give you an example real quick. There's a channel I saw a while back, and I've never responded to them, but I get comments regularly saying, when are you going to respond to these guys? You know. So actually, I know that the Birdman responded to these guys, but there's a channel called the Smud Boys. They have a Smudcast. And they've made a few videos about me in the past. I type my name in, so of course my name is popping up here as well. They made one about a year ago. Pillar of Garbage Arc? What are they doing with that?
At Gamer Ninja 24 super chatted $5. Wanted to ask this before the end of the stream. Do you know of an anime called Rosaphone? I have one of the DVDs unopened and I never heard of it.
Rosaphone! Oh, that brings me back. Yes, I know Rosaphone. I've seen Rosaphone. Very similar to Evangelion, but there was one person in particular who was obsessed with it, and that would be Yandere Dev. It's a whole story.
At Otterly Noah super chatted $20. They did cut stuff from me LMAO. They cut out the part where I recommend other reviews that didn't like the movie, but gave real reasons why they didn't, to make it seem I made the video cause someone else disliked the film.
They love doing that. They love it, because what they do is they have to say, oh, no, these people just hate people who don't like their favorite movies. They all do that all the time. Lily Orchard did the same thing. They have to sell the narrative that their critics aren't just upset with how they reviewed it. They're upset with what they had to say. Because the argument is not they dislike the movie, therefore they're bad. The argument is how you dislike the movie, how you criticize the movie is bad. I don't care if you didn't like Predator Badlands. Who gives a shit? Life is too short to care about movies that much. I care more about how you didn't like it, how you explain your position. That's more interesting to me. Oh, another super chat coming in. But yeah, it's ridiculous. They have to frame it that way to make you look ridiculous because they don't have anything
At
else.
Will Twitch's super chatted $13.15. EFAP and other culture warriors have the same weakness as conspiracy theorists. They're fighting more with a contrived idea of how things are than they are with what's actually happening.
Exactly. Anyway, one thing for I saw a comment asking who Lily Orchard is. That's a whole thing. So Smudcast, this is funny. So Smudcast, back when my channel was first starting, this is under a couple thousand subs at this point, made a video about a couple of my videos right here. One of them was this one, which is wild to me. And then they did 2 videos on my YouTube Critics Lying 2 video. And what's funny there is they came up with this amazing thumbnail. And I really want to see where they got this image from, where they imply that I'm cousins with Neuralities. That's just too goofy. I need to find that. Like, I gotta find that. It's just too stupid, and I have to know. I gotta know where this comes from. It's just too stupid. And I need it. It's too goofy. And they responded to this video right here. 33,000 views ages ago. Oh, yeah, they are hitting on the Critical Drinker, too. That's interesting. And there they go again. So they made, that's my Mauler video, never mind. Okay, the Mula one. So I just find it very interesting, you know? I find it very interesting. And I never responded to them because it's just too small a channel. But the funny thing is, these guys stopped responding to me after I got a few subs. After my channel grew, they stopped. Strange how that is, isn't it? The moment that they are against a target who is bigger than they are, all of a sudden they stop. Like magic, they stop being critical of you. It's almost as if they can only target people who are smaller than them. Funny how that works out, isn't it? Same with Lucha Devil. Lucha Devil threw up his hands trying to throw his mass against me as he was being criticized by my channel. He was trying to throw his channel weight against me. And I threw my channel weight back at him, and it all worked out. Lily Orchard did the same thing, trying to smother my channel with copyright strikes and all that, and hasn't really said anything since I rebutted her, even though I've responded to her content since then. It's funny how that works out, isn't it? These people are cowards. They can only criticize people smaller than them because they know they'll buckle under the pressure. And I know that, and speaking of course of the Birdman, he did eventually get a response from Critical Drinker. And that's, I think, the last stage of this I want to talk about right here. Birdman's most recent video. And why I knew I had to talk about it today.
You guys are going to have to excuse my voice. I'm getting over a cold. Rage. Again, something that doesn't need any explanation. The critical drinker has publicly lied and attributed false quotes to people, notably Isabella Merced, which I showed in my video profiling the drinker.
Some of the stars of the film have got theories about why that is, and one of them is right here. Isabella Merced?
Oh, look, there's Mauler. There's another one of the EFAP guys, the little platoon. I don't know that guy too well. Should we talk about the little platoon at some point? I don't know him too well. Neurotic. This freaking guy. And Critical Drinker. And Critical Drinker lies about a quote a critic made. And after we get to that, we'll get to the next section right here.
Is that the word? Merced?
Sure. Yeah.
She said it failed for one simple reason. For the same reason that the Marvels or Bird of Prey failed, because the male audience still hides a deep contempt for everything that is starring strong, independent women.
Oh, God. The truth is the truth, I guess.
Sure. I mean, that's definitely the reason Birds of Prey failed and the Marvels.
Up, here you go. Super chat coming in.
At 000 Agent 88 super chatted $2. Quick aside, Emma Watson crashed and burned? When?
Never. That's just his So Critical Drinker has a series of videos where it's like crash and burn, the story of this actor, and it's always just to chase trends online. There never is any controversy that serious. It's usually like, oh, they got older, or they chose different roles. You know, it's never something any serious.
It wasn't because they were bad films that no one wanted.
The goal here was to get people mad at her or to provoke outrage, which is something that actually happened. Drinker has never actually apologized for spreading this false quote, so again, the point was specifically to provoke outrage.
Yeah, the quote was a total lie. The Drinker made up a fake quote about a critic to discredit them, and the critic had a smaller platform than the Drinker. Therefore, they could be bullied. They could be treated as outcasts. They make shit up to lie about their critics. That's simply that. That's all it takes. That's all it takes. To make your enemies sound stupid, just lie about them. Or cut out what they say to make them sound ridiculous.
At Mantis1515 super chatted $2.63. Can we talk about how good Birds of Prey was?
Absolutely. There's loose plans of me doing a Birds of Prey video with a certain other YouTuber. Hopefully
At
I can get her to
WC
join me
Wit
up on
super chatted $5. A good video essay, sampler stream for lesser known channels could be a fun way to give your audience some gifts for the holiday season.
That could be a fair one. There are a lot of good essays. I might do a stream on some good video essays at some point. That'd be fun. I like that because there's a lot of good videos essays out there. In fact, I was seeing my friend of the channel, Jazzy Oliver. She was doing a thing recently on Blue Sky where she was just sharing video essays she liked. There was a lot of good ones. None of mine, Jazzy. I see how it is. But like, a lot of them were really good. Like a lot of Lady Emily, a lot of Sarah Z, Lindsay Ellis, H Bomber Guy, a lot of good stuff. But I might try going for some more underrated ones too, as possible. Of course, Dead Meat showed up. Dead Meat's fantastic, by the way. Love Dead Meat's work. Anyway, the point I'm trying to get with this is this right here.
Excessive confidence. I think this goes without saying, but this is Drinker's entire persona, an overly confident alpha male that is taking on the message. And finally, dismissing criticism.
Right here.
When presented with the fact that he has been criticized by me, the Birdman, here's what he had to say.
Here we go.
Pena says, to clarify my super chat from last open bar, some douche called The Birdman made a vid about you, and there's so much stupidity in it that EFAP will have a field day. Oh, yes, he was asking him, would we do a response to The Birdman?
Oh, yeah, because we were trying to figure out if the Birdman was like a character or a show or something else.
So apparently he's a YouTuber.
Wait, let's go back a second here. So,
character or...
Oh, yes. So Mauler has responded to the Birdman in the past in comments 2 years ago. Let me say something real quick on Social Blade real fast. Let me see something real quick here. So sorry. 2 years ago, right? Let's see. Total subscribers. Okay. So. That would be November. Okay, so 2 years ago, the Birdman would be at 221,000 subs. Huh. Interesting. Here's the proof of it. You can take a look right here on Social Blade. I'll show you right now. So there's no... Okay, so right now he's at 317,000. Right now, November 30th, 2023, he would have been at 221,000. That's the Birdman. Interesting. Interesting how Mahler was poking around his channel when he was nice and small. Funny. Anyway, back to this.
Or a show or something else.
So apparently he's a YouTuber.
I mean, well, like I've said before, there's so many videos on all of us now that we've almost lost interest in doing those sorts of things on EFAP. We're very caught up in like talking about movies and TV, which is always much more preferable, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that's the thing with Mahler. He's like, oh, no, we don't care about responding to our critics. It's fine. Who cares? Meanwhile, you respond to small channels who criticize you, but not the big ones. I can't imagine why. Look, here's what it comes down to. He's allowed to do whatever he wants with the channel. You know, whatever. I just find it strange how Rags will respond to Skitty Bitty's side channel to make a point to attack a channel as far as he understands is tiny compared to him. I find it strange how EFAP targets all their smallest critics of The Critical Drinker. I find it funny how they target all those small guys, but a big channel, relatively speaking, bigger than half of them, they ignore it. They ignore it. When a channel like Smudcast gets a target that gets bigger than they do, they target them constantly for a few months, and then the moment that channel grows a little too big, they ignore it. Because they're cowards.
At Sam last name B6N super chatted $4.99. Merry Christmas, Aunt.
Thank you.
I'm thinking of Freddy Krueger wearing Steve's shirt from Blue's Clues.
God, that'd be funny
I don't
as
know
shit.
why I'm thinking of this now, but it's fun.
That sounds fun. I agree. That's a pretty cool idea. It's a cool visual. I like that quite a bit. But no, what it comes down to is they're cowards. That's all it is.
At Larry Banks 3,821 super chatted $20. What gets to me about what Mueller says here is that if he wants EFAP to just focus on media breakdowns, then why bother going after drinkers' critics and going after the smaller creators?
Yeah, exactly.
Really hypocritical on him on this.
Entirely. Well, you know what's more hypocritical? When Chris Stuckman's movie came out, Shelby Oaks, they lampooned the video nonstop. When Critical Drinker's short film failed, not a peep.
At _Java_ 698 super chatted $5. If a YouTuber like Moist Critical makes a video calling out Mahler or EFAP, they would be running to the hills.
100%. Oh, 100%. You kidding? These guys won't punch in their own weight class. You know, that's the thing about it. Like, I'm a moderately mid-sized channel. I have 100,000 subs. That's, you know, by definition, about 1% of YouTubers ever cross this line. A little less than 1%. That means I'm in a higher echelon of like different critics in terms of sub count, but that still makes me a pretty small channel in the scheme of things. You know, they're still much bigger than I am. My channel's not particularly big. I'm no big deal whatsoever. I'm a small fish in a big pond. These guys are the big fish in the pond, and they're targeting smaller fish because they can't target fish their size. Why is that? Why won't they do that? They form a hug box with each other, supporting each other with, you know, oh, you're the best, you know. They'll criticize everyone else who's under 50,000 subscribers with their hundreds of collective thousand subscribers. Critical Drinker has millions. Why does he care about the Birdman? His fans want to see him react to him, respond to him. They're fine reacting to all these other smaller creators under 50,000 subs. Why do they ignore a bigger critic, a bigger name? Well, the reason is because they're cowards. It's that simple. When Shadiversy and I were arguing, he used his Night's Watch channel initially against me. I responded with my channel. He responded with his, back and forth a little bit. And then he threw out a response from his Shadiversy channel, which has over 1 million subs, against me. And it didn't make much of a difference. And then he backed down. It's funny that works. And I've made fun of Shad since. Not a peep. Not yet, anyway. Because he tried his best, and it didn't work. But at least Shad tried. Again, I was under 100,000 subscribers at that point. I was relatively smaller. Much smaller than his channel. I had 1/16 his sub count. Because these guys are cowards. And he did the same tactic then. He re-edited your response.
At Miguelzarita3216 super chatted $5. You can hear Mahler's fear mentioning Birdman. These people are hacks. Why do people listen to them anymore?
A lot of people don't listen to them as much as you think. They're kind of on the decline in some cases. I mean, Drinker still has his audience, but I think he's aware that if he loses credibility with his audience, he loses his platform.
And yeah, honestly, if some douchebag decides like he's going to come after me in a video, I don't fucking care. Like, it's not worth my
respond to
time
all of them?
to respond to it.
You don't care, but you targeted 3 of his critics recently, all one after the other. You're defending him so much. You were so desperate to get down on his feet and kiss the ring, on his toes.
As you can see, he has zero intention of actually engaging with the criticism of his ideas, because the goal isn't to be right, it's to generate clicks and revenue.
Yep.
So for the people that try to deflect by calling me one, by definition, I am not a grifter. Hell, not even by the general grifter definition that you guys use as a deflection. You can call me many things, but I don't fit either of these descriptions, and everyone I have covered actually does. So let's put the idea that I and the people that follow me are misusing the word grifter to bed, please, because that deflection is no longer going to work.
Yep.
And to my audience, if you see someone saying we are misusing grifter, please send them this video so that I don't have to get into that comment section and do it myself. I am actually kind of tired of having to explain all this.
Or watch my video on the topic. I'm sorry, Birdman. I gotta market myself here too. Or watch mine. I have a video on the same topic as well. But still, point is, yeah, it's nonsense what they're pulling. It's nonsense. It's stupid. They don't know what they're talking about. Well, they do know what they're talking about. They're lying to you. That's the issue. And they're afraid of getting criticism from a source that could discredit them. I put out a video on Mahler a little while back where I engaged with one of his older videos and talked about his style and structure and talked about what I think the big issue with him is that he is stagnant. He refuses to engage with meaningful criticism and instead puts himself in a hug box with other critics like him. Critical Drinker does the same thing. Critical Drinker has not meaningfully evolved his channel or style in any fashion since since The Last Jedi came out, basically. The only thing he's done is gotten a better mic and gotten more exaggerated with that stupid voice he puts on. But you can tell he's wanted to evolve. That's why he made a short film. He wants to make film. He wants to be a storyteller. But the problem is he only thinks in terms of story, in terms of the classical story structure, which can only service you so much before it gets redundant and boring. That's what it comes down to. They don't want to actually improve or take feedback. Hell, with his short film, he just kind of ignored feedback altogether because he'll never actually want to evolve. He wants to get good, but he doesn't want to have to learn anything. See the issue? Meanwhile, a smaller channel like my own gets criticism all the time, and I always try to improve. Even Mahler's EFAP, I feel like I learned something from that, which I think can work. Like Doug Walker. Yeah, exactly like Doug Walker. And it's the same tragedy that's going to repeat itself with these guys. Because eventually the well does dry up. You can only do the same thing so many times before it falls apart. Yeah, it's entirely accurate. Shad M. Brooks. Yeah, Shad also, same problem. He's stagnant. That's the issue with Shad. That's why his channel's dying all the time. He refuses to evolve. He refuses to engage. He refuses to step up his content. If Shadiversy transitioned to a model where he put out fewer videos that were more well crafted, I guarantee Shad would have better videos. They're not just gimmicky, oh, this sword is so crazy videos. Like, no, give me the history of swords. Give me the history of sword fighters. Go into historical context. That would be interesting, wouldn't it? If Shad did that, though, that would require actually engaging with meaningful discussion. But Shadiversity is content-minded. He is quantity over quality. And as a result, it breaks his own audience a little bit. And it's a shame, because every other person we talked about so far has improved significantly over the last couple of years. Every single person I've said positively. Birdman, Noah, Eric. I don't know how he's CHD as well, but I'm sure he's improved too. Pink King. Who else have we talked about positively? I know I mentioned Dane before. He's improved. They've all gotten better. They've all improved. Because they took feedback seriously. They learned from it. They accept they are not perfect and they can be better. Every single one of them deserves your viewership more than these guys do. Not this guy. This guy's good. But you probably already see him, so it all works out. Yeah, all of them do much better work than anything these other guys do. And it's a shame because they could be much better. Yeah, I feel bad. I feel sympathy for Mauler in that sense. He's his own worst enemy. I feel sympathy for Critical Drinker. He's his own worst enemy.
At Cassie Hoge 1677 super chatted 94 cents. Didn't Critical Drinker throw his short movies crew under the bus the moment he started receiving criticism?
Mm-hmm.
In special, the actress S.
Yeah, he threw them under the bus because he couldn't be blamed for it. It wasn't him, the writer, who was the problem, or him, the director. The buck didn't stop at him. It was the little guy. Rather than face feedback and take accountability for his actions, as a creative, he threw everyone else under the bus. Meanwhile, Chris Stuckman, for all of his, and mind you, I have criticisms of Chris Stuckman. But one thing I will never say is that he dodges accountability for his actions. Chris Stuckman is a class act. He has taken the feedback on his movie on the chin. Guy took it and is going to move forward with it. Probably do a better job next time. The film's a success. He'll have another shot at directing. A success financially. It might not be a big critical success, but it's a success financially. Low budget, high return on investment. He'll get another movie. And hopefully be better than this one, than Shelby Oaks. That being said, I don't think Critical Drinker has absorbed any feedback on his movie. Not a thing. Now, Shelby Oaks, mixed bag. It's a mixed bag movie. It has its ups, has its downs. People are hyperbolic, so they want to tear down Stuckman, I think, to an extent.
At Auto Johnny super chatted $5. I saw Shelby Oaks. I thought it was okay.
Yeah, it's okay. It's an okay film. That's what it comes down to. That's the big criticism. It's all right. It's not great. It's not bad. It's all right. And that's worth listening to. Take the good with the bad. Find the good faith within it all and improve. If Stuckman improves, he'll be great. He'll be fine. But Critical Drinker's short film is not okay. It is mediocre. It is unremarkable. It is dull. The worst kind of bad. You see, here's the thing. I can pinpoint specific criticisms of Shelby Oaks. A lot of people say the first half is pretty good. First third pretty good. Last third's where it gets weak. Critical Drinker, no one can remember what happened in the film a week after seeing it because it's just like everything else. Shelby Oaks, you can see the inspiration behind it. It is a Lake Mungo lifted story. It's heavily inspired by Lake Mungo. You can see the artistic integrity, the artistic inspiration behind it. I think it misses the ball of what made Lake Mungo so successful, but hey, what are you going to do? Critical Drinker, his film is just The Bourne Identity, but cheaper. It's just 24. It's just The Shield. It's just everything you've seen on TV for years without any meaningful innovation. but he will not listen to that feedback because he knows better. He knows better than you do. That's what it comes down to. That's what it always comes down to. The reason these guys, the reason why this drama is so stupid to me is because all Critical Drinker should have done, like we've done when they've criticized us, is shut the fuck up and take the feedback on the chin. But he didn't.
At the man with Applin 7678 super chatted $2. Maybe a video about if YouTubers can make art?
They can make art. There's some great films made by YouTubers and great books.
At Larry Banks
detail about
3821 super chatted $20. The fact that Drinker throw the actor under the bus when he works with people in the industry either said people were afraid of calling him out due to how large he is, or many of them are just as repugnant as him.
That or he has a bad rep now in the industry. You know, that's the thing. People don't talk about what happens on the industry. You know, you hear rumors. You know, you hear stories about certain people who are terrible, but they work with them anyway. No one's lining up to work on Josh Trank's upcoming films. You know, because he has a bad rep. And there's no return on
At GamerNinja24 super chatted $5. Stuckman does have an eye for horror direction, and I can't wait to see what else he makes.
Yeah.
TCD doesn't have that same eye for direction.
Yeah, 100%. Listen, there are very few directors who hit it out of the park on the first try, right? You ever see Christopher Nolan's first film? It's not that good. I mean, it's not bad, but it's not good. It's like a student film. It's all right. You know, you can see the elements there that would become Nolan's style, but it's not a great Nolan film. Very few directors bat 100 on their first try. Even Sam Raimi, his first project was a short film, a proof of concept that showed that he could make Evil Dead. And Evil Dead is actually really his second work, his second big project. The first one is not remembered as well, the short film he did. Chris Stuckman's first project is a beginning, you know? And he'll get better. Because he listens to feedback, because he's a critic and knows the value of good film criticism. Like, yeah, it sucks to read someone hate what you do, what you made, but a good creator can take that and grow from it. And Chris Stuckman's a good creator. Critical Drinker has had multiple occasions we've been criticized, and he has not improved. He has not gotten better. He got better
At
mic.
the man with Applin 7678 super chatted $5. I realize I'm more mean. Can we get to a point where YouTuber goes into film industry? Doesn't sound grown worthy.
That's fair. What if I told you one of the best films of 2025 was made by a YouTuber? It's actually a sophomore effort. It's a second film made by a YouTuber. But what if I told you the best film, one of the best films this year, I think, is a YouTube film, a YouTuber film. And I bet you didn't even know it came from a YouTuber. Can anyone guess what it is? Chat, guess what you think the film is. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Some of you know. Dinner Plan. Oh, Dinner Plan's pretty good too. That's fair. Dinner Plan's pretty good. I didn't think of that one. But that is Patrick Williams' film. That's pretty good. No, I was thinking more of Bring Her Back. Which, yeah, was made by a YouTuber. It was made by, what's the names? The YouTubers. Anyway. Yeah. Bring Her Back's fantastic. This movie kicks ass. This is a fantastic movie. And it's a follow-up to Talk to Me. Not a sequel, but a follow-up. Go away, Merchants of Joy. You're not cool enough. This movie is also fantastic. And also made by YouTubers. Yeah, Raka Raka. There we go. I was drawing a blank on the name. These are incredible movies. I want to take a look at something real quick, though. Critical Drinker. Has Critical Drinker mentioned Drinker Talk to Me? Has he mentioned Talk to Me? Okay, he had an after hours video on Talk to Me. Okay. Of course he did. Did he talk about Bring Her Back? No. Interesting. Critical Drinker, for all his talk about great film and Hollywood being ruined, did not review Bring Her Back. Oh yeah, he's never responded to Man Carrying Things either. Forgot about him.
At ATARKA7152 super chatted $2. Excited for Markiplier's Iron Lung movie.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. I'm very excited for that. I can't wait for that. I want to see that one pretty much. I think Markiplier is pretty talented, I'll be honest. Yeah, so the same time that Bring Her Back was coming out, Critical Drinker was complaining about Disney's Boy Trouble. Every other critic was talking about an incredible little movie called Bring Her Back. And Critical Drinker was whining about Disney. At least with Talk to Me, he mentioned it on a podcast video with another filmmaker, Emily Booth, who I'm not familiar with. And today he stopped.
Now
here he talks about his open bar channel. He has his nonsense here with Mauler and all that, whatever. A lot of Mauler videos here. Another Disney response video, 10 minutes. Badlands is flopping hard, apparently, despite it, being the highest grossing Predator film, A lot of podcasts that, whatever. Grace Randolph again. He doesn't even talk much about movies that are coming out. Wait, what? It's about Sisu, okay. What does he even talk about on this channel? He has his podcast, which gets surprisingly few reviews than expected. Okay. For a channel like of his size. He's complaining about Grace Randolph again. Movies that defined our generation. Is that 2.5 hours long? No, I'm not wasting my time. Man of Steel. He's complaining about. He's saying a poll he ran for his audience had Man of Steel be better than Superman. Okay, I guess your audience likes Man of Steel more. Okay. It's not unbiased. Ruby Rose and Sydney Sweeney. Okay. Again, it's like first impressions of Predator Badland? Like, what does that mean, first impressions? Did you watch the movie or didn't you? Did you see it in the theaters? I mean, I know you didn't. You bootlegged it, but, whatever. Chris Stuckman video. More people care about Chris. Okay, that's fair, I guess. Yeah, so not much. Whiteout? Like, that's like 2 movie reviews in like a month, roughly? Good Boy. Okay, I guess you watched something decent. Reaction trailer reactions. It's like, what is the... Where are the reviews, He barely talks about movies on this extra thing. It's a dumping ground, looks like. There's really nothing here. I'm actually kind of surprised. Weapons, okay, a round table podcast about weapons. Yeah, just disappointing here, Like, look at this. There's nothing really here that means anything. There's very few comments on movies. Huh. It's all just talking Disney. It's all Disney shit. It's all Disney, a few action films here and there like Sisu, the big mainstream hits and nothing else. Good Boys is an exception. And bizarrely enough, Good Boys is one of his more successful videos here. Like, this is your chance to get into weird territory with what you put out. And all you're putting out is slop about Disney. One battle after another. There you go. Decent movie you finally talk about here. Seven Samurai. Decent movie you put out there. Your audience hates it, though. And this is the channel you dumped your Sinners review on. And good luck finding it. There you go, Sinners. Again, decently viewed. It's just amazing that you have all these videos and none of them are meaningful. They're all just slop.
At Larry Banks 3,821 super chatted $10. Jose made a good video a year ago about Drinker debunking his videos and how Jose also brought up that Drinker's attitude wasn't unique as near the end he reads an old blog talking about the formula.
Exactly. Yeah, this is old stuff. Nothing what Drinker does is new. It's all old hat
At Zypher 8,677 super chatted $2. Oh my god, pick a new topic for once,
Yeah,
Drinker.
it's all James Gunn's gonna fail. Disney's dying. You know, or whatever news article just came out that day. It's in a podcast form. Like, like all old news, no lifespan. It's all very quick, hasty stuff. People talking in a circle on a podcast. You know, it's like none of this means anything. Very little of this matters. And of course, not a single mention of Bring Her Back, which is one of the best films of the year. Easy. It's all just slop. I don't know, man. I don't know. Talk to Me is really good, though. You should watch Talk to Me. But yeah, no, it's just disappointing. It's just depressing, man. It's kind of miserable to slog through this shit. You know, 'cause it's like, what's the value in any of this? It's all bullshit. It's all bullshit. All of it. It's just depressing. And they criticized Chris Stuckman for making a movie because I guess they're jealous. Who knows? And Chris Stuckman's done shit that could be worth criticizing too. But still.
At Cassie Hosh 1677 super chatted 94 cents. Oh yeah, good boy. The Japanese movie that is actually Korean loudly crying loudly crying loudly crying.
Okay, that's Old Boy. That's different. Good Boy is the movie that's told from a dog. It's a horror movie told from a dog's perspective. You guys hear about this? Good Boy? This is great. Okay. Want to talk about a good movie? This is a great idea of a movie. Take a look at this. And it's out right now on Shudder. So if you want to watch it, it's on Shudder. This is Good Boy. I'm trying to find a good image. This is a good poster. Hang on. Let me get a large one up here. Yeah, this is a cool movie idea. I like this one. It's a lot. So, Good Boy is a horror movie told from the perspective of a dog. Nah, it's all good. I mean, it sounds like Old Boy. Old Boy's also great, too. I love Old Boy. Old Boy's one of my favorite movies of all time. But Good Boy is excellent. This is a really surprisingly good movie. Yeah, watch it. It's on Shudder right now. If you have Shudder, watch or AMC Plus. It's pretty good. And I think it could also be accessed on if you have. There's probably other sites you can get it from too. But yeah, it's sad, but it's good. It's a sad but good movie. I like it. I like it a bit, and it's unique. It's a cool concept. And it's not like freaking VHS 2 with the freaking one with the dog. Okay. A little bit of a sidetrack. Yeah, here we go. Super chat coming in.
At Voice of the Boa 2 super chatted $2. Good Boy is fantastic. Amazing film.
Agreed. Listen, okay, so a little bit of a rant here. Who here has seen VHS 2 from the VHS series? Amazon Prime. It's also on Amazon Prime. VHS 2, one of the better VHS movies, ends with a segment where these kids are being attacked by aliens, and the camera is strapped to the back of the family dog. And it ends with the little kid being abducted by aliens. He's holding on to his pet dog, holding on for dear life. He's being sucked into the sky, loses grip of the dog halfway through the ascent. Dog drops down, and you see that the camera twists, so you're looking at the dog's eyes as the light fades from it. Like, that is so fucking cruel. That is one of the cruelest things I've ever seen in a movie. Like, I don't care. I love the movie otherwise. It's a really great movie. But Jesus, that ending of that one segment is so fucking hard to watch. Like, I was watching it with like every year with my family, I put on like a couple horror movies, and not really horror movie guys, but I try to put on something that's interesting. And like I'm watching VHS 2, and I forgot how it ended, the one segment. And we're going through it, and we're like, oh, it's really good, this, that, and the other. Like, oh, it's really good. That's really. They like some, they didn't like others, whatever. And they get to the one with the dog, and they get to the scene where the dog dies, loses them all. They're like, oh, they're like, no, fuck this. We're not finishing this. Like, okay, I can't even blame you. It's upsetting. Like they got pissed. They got angry at me for showing it to them because of that scene, and I can't even blame them. I forgot all about it, and it's like, oh, that's really depressing. It's yeah. Dog does not die in Good Boy. That's a spoiler, by the way. The dog does not die in Good Boy. If that motivates you to watch it, it's good though. It's very good. But no, yeah, and it's a brutal way to kill a dog in a movie. Like it's actually really upsetting. Yeah, no. If they heard, like, what is it in Halloween, the original? Like, Michael Myers can kill, like, all these teenagers and you don't care, but he strangles the dog death, and that's how you know he's pure evil. When Michael Myers kills a dog, that's so much worse than when he's killing anyone else in those films. Like, by a mile, Oh, geez. Anyway, I think I've said all I have to say on this matter. Tomorrow, we will be streaming again on Celtic Phoenix's channel. They're going to be reacting to a video essay on movie criticism, and I'm hoping I can offer a voice of. I hope I can convince them of what I think needs to be said. But we'll see. We'll see. It'll be fun. Listen, what's a good panel without a debate? Friday we have the fan service video coming out, and it's on schedule to be out on Friday. Be good time. And Friday night, assuming it's not back up, we have Tactical Templar coming to the channel for another debate. So you're going to get a full week of content from me. I will make it with my son somehow when it's all over. So everyone, thank you so much for joining us on this little excursion through Controversy Lane. I will see you all next time. Take care.